going on, everybody? It's Friday night, April 24th, 2020. Look, I don't know if that music was a little corny. I'm not going to lie. I actually used it on Patreon last week, and everybody seemed to like the little bit of retro sound to it, the cars, and plus it gets through YouTube's guidelines. So I figured just play a little musical intro. And if you notice, I tweaked the camera a little bit today, only because a bunch of you out there wanted to see the vest. And to be honest with you, if I would have kept the camera the way it would have looked like this. And people would have been like, what the fuck is he wearing? So yeah, for everybody that was curious, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, I was doing managing on the indie circuit here in the Northeast, and for a little while I was managing Grim Reaper and Jay Lover. And I'm sure a lot of you on the Northeast knew them as BQE. Well, yours truly was the original manager, and we had these vests made up. So I don't know if you could see it, Don Tony, Brooklyn, Queens Express, 278, because that is the interstate for the Brooklyn, Queens Expressway. So I'm wearing it tonight. Show a little shout out to Grim Reaper and Jay Love. I haven't spoke to them in a while. And the funny thing is, no bullshit, unless he moved, Grim Reaper lives 5 blocks from me. No joke. So, yes, I figured, we'll tweak the camera a little bit. Plus, it's really hot in here. So I figured, you know what, if I wear the vest, at least I don't have the suit jacket on. I won't be sweating buckets, even though I'm a little bit hot. But we got the quiet fan now. And by the way, speaking of fans, want to welcome everybody. I don't consider you fans. I consider everybody family, and that is no bullshit. And I tell you, no, please do not compare me to aces at 0.8s. And not for nothing, everybody. Look, maybe they'll grow on me, but, to have Smackdown all of a sudden, pushing I call them the forgotten sons of bitches. And, not the Lucha Dragons or the Lucha Brothers or whatever the fuck they're called in WWE. I call them, not Lucha Underground, I call them Lucha Undercard. So tonight, the beginning of Smackdown, we get the Forgotten Sons of Bitches, and we get the Lucha Undercard. Not Lucha Underground, Lucha Undercard. Who's not wearing panties? Wait, whoa, what's the deal over here? Oh, who's saying this? Stony Harper is not wearing panties. I'm not wearing panties either. Did you see that clip on TMZ that John Cena still likes to wear those thong things? And I tell you, man, I know TMZ is a little bit adult oriented, but they're trying to get everybody to watch their fucking channel. And they put up the clip when John Cena wore that outfit in front of his dad a long time ago on WWE TV, and you just saw this big bulge sticking out. Go on TMZ and see what I'm talking about. TMZ surprises me sometimes. Yeah, Benjamin, just go on TMZ and just type in Cena and see what they posted today. Yeah, it is what it is. But hey, we have an interesting show to get into today. I want to let everybody know that my plan is to go no longer than 2 hours, because I've learned now that YouTube, if you go over 2 hours, it takes an hour for anything over 2 hours to process. And I get a ton of people that catch the show later on and like, come on, man, why is the show cut off at the beginning? So if we finish under 2 hours, then the whole show is available immediately. And hey, we got Monday to do, we got next Wednesday to do, we got Friday next week. And if you're a patron, or if you want to join the Patreon, look, I don't push anybody, patreon.com/DonTony. But Sunday, Mish and I are going to be doing an episode of Breakfast Soup. So you got plenty of time still to sign up if you want. And if you become a VIPer, hey, you could send in questions too. So I'm going to put the thread up tomorrow. No, Ben, seriously, I really got to start getting these under 2 hours. I'd rather do a show every day and do them a little bit shorter than to do a 3-hour banger and then not do one for 2-3 days. So, just so people know, my goal ultimately is to do a show every single day over here for everybody. I just don't want to burn out. I don't want to bore everybody. And I don't want to come up here and talk about stuff just to talk about stuff. But I tell you, today, we got some interesting stuff to talk about. I I think we need to talk about that. It's censored. It's censored. So you see that stuff with Velveteen Dream today? I'll tell you, man. I feel bad for the guy if he didn't do what is being accused of him. I will give you my complete, honest thoughts about the situation. And, you know, I think I proved on social media today the overall atmosphere of what I've been talking about for a very long time now. And, you know, look, I totally agree with you, brother. I totally agree with you, Coffee. If Velveteen did do this, then he absolutely is a creep. If he did this, he should be fired from the WWE. But there's a lot of things that don't add up. And when and look, it's funny because you got some goof wrestling news websites. I haven't seen any podcasters talk about it yet, so I'm not going to just try to throw darts. But you have some wrestling websites that are convicting him. And they're using James Ellsworth as the reason. Oh, we reported Ellsworth, and look how that turned out. No, you don't fucking take someone else's bad behavior and immediately assume that someone else did the very same thing. That is careless, that is reckless, and all those wrestling websites that do that, take notice. When you follow them, especially on Twitter, they got a logo. They got the name of their website. There are no individual people there taking responsibility. But I do enjoy when they do that stuff, because sooner or later, someone is going to get sued. And when they get dragged into court, and then you realize that the person is like a 24-year-old, 485-pound geek that hasn't shaved himself, that looks 10 times uglier than Brad Shepard, that still lives with mommy, that has no job whatsoever, and you realize that they just thought they could hide behind a website and run roughshod and just crucify people. You know, I can't wait, man. You'll see them crying like little sissies. But, you know, I tell you, my gut feeling is usually the right feeling. I mean, honestly, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk in any way, shape, or form, but if anybody that's been following me for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years plus, I think you can't even count on both hands how many times that I was wrong with predictions, gut feelings, or anything like that. And the thing is that unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that, you know, are more concerned about getting attention, more concerned about being perceived that this great person that's there, you know, like this. And I'm just using this as an overall example because of what happened in China with the Wu-Tang Clan or the Wuhan or the Met Lab or whatever. You see all these people, oh, that's so disgusting. They're eating dog, they're eating cat, they're eating bat, they're eating whatever. And they're like, oh my God, look how, you know, they treat hens and they treat pigs and this and that. But meanwhile, when they talk about things that they eat, half the fucking ingredients are in the stuff that they're eating is the very things that they claim that they're totally against. Please. That's just convenient. You know, me right now, I'm not going to bring it out here, but I will only buy grass-fed, free-range meat, eggs, cheese. I have inside Vital Farms, which I follow actually on Twitter. You know, when you see all these people, oh, it's so terrible what they do to chickens. And props to anybody who knows why I did that. You know, and meanwhile, like a minute later, oh, I had blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, eggs is like the main ingredient. You never hear them say free range or grass-fed or finished beef. Finished. You don't ever hear them say that because, you know, it's like looking at the TV and you see the animals get abused in cages and this and that. Oh, yeah, it's so terrible. The people starving in other countries, it's so terrible. And they just tweet about it. Get the hand job. They don't do nothing about it. And by the way, you know, some of you out there have asked me my opinion. And you know what? Thank you, Max, wow, man, what the hell is that? Maxim Umalax. Maximo Malax. Is that right? Maxumalax? And when everything is said and done, if they're wrong, they won't apologize like no one did to Enzo. And remember that Enzo conversation? Amongst all the podcasters that, I'm friends with and around, I will take credit for this. Mish and I think Joey Numbers a little bit, were the only three that stuck by Enzo from day one. There were others that stuck by Enzo too. But the thing is they don't have the balls to come outward immediately and give their opinion because they don't want to deal with the backlash. Everybody, seriously, anybody that follows me on Twitter, could you imagine if some of those podcasters got the crap that I got early this week when I made my original rant on Sami Zayn? Oh my God! They would have been deleted. They would have been on social media. And honestly, we would have probably had to be, really, really worried that, they might do something. I don't want to insinuate anything. Let's take the easy way out. They might eat some Clorox chewables. Look, I'm a supporter of our president. I'll even say it. I understand what he meant. That, for people that don't know, I don't know if it's Demerol, but there are studies over the years where they have injected medications that have alcohol in it into the lungs. There's some very good scientific studies from 1998 especially, but the problem is he was talking about insecticide, whatever the fuck it was. And he was also talking about alcohol. And because of the way he said it, I'm not sticking up for him, but the way he said it, he should have just said, I'm only kidding. That was stupid. That was very stupid what he said yesterday. And, he refuses to own up for it and say, look, I was just joking yesterday, or I meant the alcohol. Even yours truly will say, that was stupid what our president said. But I will also say this. Anybody out there sitting at home that watched that with Trump yesterday, if anybody turned around and said, honey, give me bleach. It works, honey. Give me bleach. If anybody's that stupid enough to take a shot of bleach or take their meth needles and just, let me just do a little needle in the you deserve to fucking die. Anybody out there that's that stupid to think that they can do that, it's stupid. Stupid across the board. Stupid across the board. And I'll even admit it. Stupid across the board. But getting back to the Velveteen Dream stuff, and you guys, you want me to open up with Velveteen Dream, or you want me to open up with Smackdown? Or do you want me to open up with the WWE Finance Call? I will say this while I start polling everybody tuning in live. And by the way, I'm going to start doing this more often because people keep giving me like a lot of advice for this channel. And they're like, you got to say it a couple of times during the night. If you're enjoying the show right now, hit the thumbs up button. Because the more likes or even dislikes, the more it gives recommendations for other places. And I see only 1/6 of you out there have either hit the thumbs up or thumbs down. So I would really appreciate it. Doesn't cost nothing. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. I totally respect that. I wouldn't like it, but I totally respect it. Let's see. Coffee Brooklyn. Okay. Well, let's see. Thank you for the kind words, my friend. Thank you. And he says he watches and listens to me because I'm authentic, not so PC, and he thinks that I'm the best podcast. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much for that. I try my best, and look, I'm not gonna lie, man. The amount of revolt against yours truly from what I said to Sami Zayn Monday, I don't take back what I said, because my reasons were because of what I see that's going on in America. I told you, I still haven't seen no $1,200. I haven't gotten any assistance. I got customers in my insurance office who can't afford their bills. My girl's applied for unemployment 3 times since the beginning of March. She hasn't gotten approved. Every week she inquires, and somehow the application is, oh, please fill this out. So a lot of people who are sick are getting help right now and getting it for free. But this reminds me of Superstorm Sandy all over again. and I don't want to get into it, but Superstorm Sandy really leveled my neighborhood. I already talked about what happened with my parents. If you're a patron, you saw the footage. It's insane what you saw. It looked like a war zone. But even back then, people that had nothing or people that lived like paupers, they got crazy amounts of help. And then the people who had devastation that couldn't afford to rebuild, they got almost nada. And I had customers back then, you know, and it's amazing, it's almost 8 years ago, but I had customers back then that said to me, show us them puppies. You know what? I can't show the puppies right now. They don't sag like they used to, you know, but you know what? Maybe next week, because we're going to hit 10,000. And when I say we, I mean all of you tuning in and me. Because all of you that tune in, I understand not everybody could tune in live, and I understand you can't tune in every single week because there's a lot of other very good podcasters out there that sometimes air at the same time as yours truly. But the fact that you subscribe and you check out my stuff wherever you can, you know, this channel, it's us growing. And I'm not kidding. It's us growing. And I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So, Stony Harper, hey, for everybody out there that wants to see this, yeah, show us them puppies. You know, next week, maybe as a goof, I'll wear like one of my old Sergio Tacchinis or something like that I could actually show chest. But trust me, I don't have saggy tits like I used to. They're not built. You know, it's not like I could sit here and, you know, pose. I mean, if you do look at my arm, though, you know, I'm getting there. Getting there. Maybe if I lift this up a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, getting there. Now, if I move my hand behind it, you know, then it's flipped. Let's see. Anyway. I could poke fun at myself, man. I tell you, I think truthfully, I really mean this. I think some people, and I always talk about podcasters more than anything, but even the wrestling news websites, I think if they had the balls and, you know, the self, you know, appreciation of themselves, the self-worth, I mean, if they would show themselves, I think it would eliminate that embarrassment that they're hiding behind. And I think that they would be able to laugh a little bit more. I have smiled and laughed on these shows since the middle of January more than I probably did doing podcasting for 20 plus years. Seriously. And I think we should all be able to laugh at ourselves. None of us are perfect. Nobody's ever going to be an absolute perfect. I mean, I think just people need to get out of their shells and just, you know, throw something out there. I just don't understand people that spend 10, 20, 30 years online and they're afraid to show what they look like. I mean, my God, even some of the people that were cursing me out about the Sami Zayn stuff, there was this one guy, my God, if you just pictured Otis, just same size and weight, but not a bodybuilder and out of shape, this guy looked like twice the size of Otis. And he's just sitting there and he's like, hey, should I do the After Dark challenge? That guy was a prick towards me because of the Sami Zayn stuff. But you know what? If he's listening to this, I don't remember his name, and he knows because I told him to go eat some lettuce. I give you props, my brother. Definitely. I swear to God, I give you props because you're comfortable enough in your skin that you put yourself out there. And I seriously mean that. Doug McKay, yeah, man. He's wow. Yeah. I'm the was it humanless of the Donzel Army? But as far as being genuine, I mean, honestly, I tell you my opinions. People don't like it. People don't like it. Nobody's forced to check this out. But seriously, I thank everybody. And like I said, you know, we're about to hit 10,000, and that's awesome. So I'm thinking next week, definitely the one chip challenge to celebrate 10,000. Maybe I will show my titties out there. You'll probably see me cry with this chip challenge, especially after having diverticulitis surgery and no gallbladder, but fuck it. Oh, with it, man. I can't read. Humanize. No, Ben, no. If I pull up what he said before, nothing against Doug, but he did not spell humanize. I don't even know what the hell that is. Humanless. Maybe I am humanless sometimes, but anyway, but getting back to the whole Velveteen Dream stuff, and let's see. You know what I said earlier? We want Smackdown. All right, okay. I see everybody wants to hear Velveteen open up. Let me just say this before we get into Velveteen. Smackdown tonight, overall, I'll be honest with you, I loved the end. Vince was all over the place, but I loved the end. I love that raw emotion, being real sometimes. And look, most 95% of you out there won't even know what I'm talking about, but I mentioned this on Patreon about 2 months ago with Mish. And I said, you know, one of the shows that I never liked growing up as a kid was the Carol Burnett show. My mom used to watch it. And I used to sit there and watch it with her, and I was never a fan of it, but the only time that I found myself enjoying it and laughing is when they would do skits with Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, I think his name was, and they would do these skits, and they would just start laughing and laughing and laughing. What's up, Daisy Velez? They start laughing in the middle of their skits because they can't hold it in. And that raw, real laughter would have the audience cracking up. There are tons of footage of it on YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about. So sometimes in wrestling, being real is a good thing. Wednesday, I gave props to Impact Wrestling, Josh Matthews and Michael Elgin, because they just came straight out and talked about COVID-19 and why Michael Elgin is not there. And he was honest about it. And it wasn't, oh, let's make a bullshit excuse. Look what they did with Roman Reigns, man. Did you see the people last week that tried to suddenly turn that into a news article? Vince ordered nobody to talk about Roman Reigns. You notice how that took 3 weeks to be said, or 2 weeks to be said? You know why that was put out? Because so many people were angry at Vince for releasing people last week. So they wanted to put out anything that they could possibly think of that makes Vince look even more evil. And the funny thing is, tonight, I guarantee you a lot of those people who call him Vince evil last week are tweeting right now saying, oh, Vince, it was so nice to see him, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Please. That night that we did the Don Tony show, we all of you and I, we talked about it. Hey, did you notice how they totally ignored Roman Reigns? They'll never say publicly, yeah, he's not showing up. We're not going to mention him or push him or anything like that. We're not going to keep his seat warm. He's going to have to build it back up. That's the truth. It's an entertainment company. And for the people, John, did you hear about that early this week? That somebody told the Florida government that an unidentified WWE employee named John says that they're being pressured to work, that they could be fired. What did we talk about on the show last Wednesday? That if you refuse to show up right now, not for nothing, and look, I totally respect people that still feel that WWE should not be doing shows, period, live, or even together in the Performance Center. And did you hear AEW is coming back to Florida? Thinking about a week or two? Told you. Vince McMahon in a conference call said, hey, if Florida shuts us down, we got other states to go to. Remember the whole state jumping rant from 2-3 weeks ago? It's common sense. It's not that I'm not, smart predicting this. It's common sense. It's common sense. So I enjoyed the Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Vince thing. At times it just was all over the place. But, in the end, it was nice to see. I don't mind a little bit of that off-script stuff. I remember back in the day when they did that celebration for Ric Flair after Raw went off the air. We were pissed off because we all wanted to see that. They would do sometimes birthday celebrations after Raw would go off the air. And we would find out from people who were live in attendance when I used to cover shows. And you would have people that would give live accounts after Raw went off the air, blah, 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 blah happened, and this has happened. They brought out a cake and they did this. I was so happy when WWE several years ago came out with that Raw after Raw show. It was a WWE Uncut. Cress is saying I should hit 10,000 by the end of the month. Cress, I want to hit 10,000 before Monday. See, I want it before Monday. Seriously, again, if everybody out there is enjoying this, hit the thumbs up. And if you enjoy the channel, hit the subscribe button. So less than 100 away to 10,000. It's going to be awesome, man. Vince is old. You could see that Vince is frail. You could see that Vince, and it happens. People get older. They become mortal. I mean, as much as I think Joe Biden has zero chance of winning the presidency, I don't make fun of him. You know how many times I wanted to tweet like, hey, Joe, even though he would never see it, but just to piss off, the Democrats. I wanted to write, hey, Joe, when are you going to announce your 3 vice presidents? Your 3 choices, because he's got just the idea like, he's a couple of eggs short of a dozen, but he's up there in age. I think a lot of us out there have had a grandparent, an uncle, that as they got much older, they started to get senile. And I swear on my family, no joke, patrons. And I bring up patrons because we get more personal there. Not saying it like you're losing out on anything. I'm saying it because we get more personal. It's more intimate surrounding there. But I talked about this 2 years ago. My Aunt Ann died about 2 years ago. She was, I think, 81. And the last couple of years I used to see her, she would come over my parents' house and she would just start rambling about things. And we're like, what the are you talking about? And she would bring up like, her mother and this and that, like I'm going to see my mom next week. And her mother's been dead for 40 years. But, she would just say some really outrageous, and she wasn't, it's just, unfortunately, that's what happens when you get older. And Vince, he's a very intelligent guy. Look at the stock, man. Seriously. It's not just because of him. It's about the overall company. And I'm not putting the company over. I'm just telling it like it is. When I said last Wednesday, and I watched every person out there, I totally understand people have an emotion. I totally understand people who were upset about the people who were released last week. Some of those wrestlers we will not see again in a very long time. I'm not just talking about a 90-day no-compete. But you also feel bad because they got kids, they got families, they got bills, just like all of us. The problem is that a lot of people let the emotional part get the best of them. And when you have podcasters, websites, people that, you supposedly invest time and money and trust into, and they're reacting on pure emotion. We're in the middle of a pandemic. It's an entertainment company. They like, oh, how could he release people in the middle of a pandemic? That's why I wrote last Wednesday, I wouldn't trust those people with my tooth fairy money. If I knocked my tooth right out and put it under the pillow and got a quarter tomorrow, I still would not give it to those people and say, hey, watch this for me. Because in the middle of a pandemic where you can't perform in front of live crowds and you got that, tens and tens of millions lost because there's no live crowds, you're going to downsize. You're not trying to be, a jerk about it. It's business. The WWE stock in the last 30 days has gone up 35%. The stock today went up 15% because of the earnings call. 15%. There was no surprise about the Fox TV deal. They knew what kind of revenue was going to be in this quarter. But you see, that's what happens with a lot of the goofs out there. They don't understand finances. They just look at all these numbers and say, oh my God, look, 1 year ago they only had $15 million here. Now they got 60. Why couldn't they keep all these people? They had a record profit. Why couldn't they keep all these people? You see what I mean? They just look at a number. It's like me, okay? I lost 65 pounds since last February, March, 65 pounds. And that's like a goof. That is like, oh my God, he lost 65 pounds. But they don't know why I lost 65 pounds. They don't have any clue. How can I do that? They don't know how any clue. So I don't mean to be cold last week when I talked about the releases. It's business. It's a publicly traded company. They gave $10 million in dividends to investors, and they only saved $4 million by releasing the talent. The investors are the reason why all the other wrestlers are still employed. The investors invest. Patreon. I bring up Patreon a lot. If Patreon wasn't around right now, either there'd be no more Monday show, or all of the other shows would be subscription based. And I would probably lose about 90% of the viewers there or the listeners, but that's just the fact. People invest in what we do. That's why, when people say to me, oh my God, he's taking shots at this guy. Oh, that show's going to end. No, it's going to continue. It's business. As long as people still invest in what we all do, it continues, and plus, at the end of the day, we all want to see wrestling do good. We all want to see our favorites be employed and have jobs. But you also got to be a little bit realistic about that. So I enjoyed the ending of SmackDown. Dana Brooke, look, I have nothing against her personally. It's not because she's blonde or anything like that. But, all you had to do is look at the handspring into the elbow outside the ring. Just look at that one move. That summarizes Dana Brooke's career, seriously. There's some people out there, yours truly included. You start putting some music on and, I might be able to, and maybe sitting down, I don't look too goofy right now, but I haven't danced, physically stood up and danced since like 1989 because I was embarrassed to the point that I just got so self-conscious that I would never dance ever again. No joke. I'll dance a slow dance, but that's it. But the thing is that no matter how hard I try, you can't stop us now. No matter how hard I try, I can't fucking dance. I remember me and my friends, we went in the early 90s, we would go to the Harbor Club and you would have all these club songs on and my friend would be like this and he'd go like this and he would like do these things and he would put his foot back and it's almost like up rocking. And no matter how many times I tried to do it, I looked like the absolute goof. No matter how many times in the privacy of my own home, listening to Hot 97 with nobody else around or Q 103.5 at the time, no matter how many hours I tried to learn how to dance. Michael Jackson, when I was a kid, I can't tell you how many shoes I told my mom to get, and I would put oil on the bottom of the shoes. I take oil, Wesson oil, rub it on the bottom of the shoes, and I think I could do the moonwalk, and I would slide. You know what happened? It looked like a bad cartoon. I would fall all over the place. There's some people in baseball that no matter how many years they play baseball, they still bat 200, And unfortunately, and I'm sorry, this is an out-of-date reference, but Yankee fans will appreciate this. Dana Brooke is like the Bobby Meacham, or better yet, the Dale Bearer of wrestling. No matter how many years she tries, no matter how many times it's my time, flex. She sucks. She's terrible. I love the people, and I didn't mean to be cold 2 weeks ago. There was no Dana Brooke push. The only thing I want to see Dana Brooke do, and again, I don't want to see her physically hurt and just talking storyline. I said it last week. When she reaches the top of the building, I want it to be like Hogan and Big Show. When they had the monster truck challenge on the top of the building and Big Show just, and he fell off the building backwards. That's what I want. I want people to wonder what happened to Dana Brooke. She don't have to be released, but she's the drizzling shits, and you got to see it in full action tonight. Now, I know some people disagreed with me 2 weeks ago, but I did my checking again, and what I said actually is correct. From next week until July, it looks like just about everything on WWE television will be recorded. Some people thought that they were going to do a live Raw and then do a pre-recorded for the following week. No, from what I understand is that they're going to record earlier in the day, but it's going to be like 4 or 5 hour tape delay. So from what I understand, I could be wrong, but I did some additional checking on it, and it appears that this Monday, they're going to record Raw during the afternoon, late morning, early afternoon. It's going to air later on at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then they're also going to record the following week, either that night or the next day. And then the next day, it carries into SmackDown. Now, when I get into the conference call later, not going to get into the whole thing today, but I'll get into a couple of things. We'll talk about Velveteen Dream right now, I promise. But when I get into the stuff later, Triple H explained what WWE is doing as far as to prevent COVID from, hitting the roster. By the way, does anybody notice a certain person who hasn't been there doing backstage interview segments for a couple of weeks? Not putting any names out there, but I remember when everybody insisted that Charlie Caruso had COVID. I'm not so sure. I never mention any names. No WWE 2K21 game. I think people are pretty happy with that, seriously. That game, oh my God. I'd rather play, Smackdown, Shut Your Mouth. I'd rather play that all night long. That game was horrendous. No, is AJ Styles a backstage interviewer, William? No. I think people could figure it out. So, I'm not trying to insinuate anything. Anyway, let's talk about Velveteen Dream. Now, look. If Velveteen Dream's situation proved anything to anybody today, is that if you keep an open mind, if you look at everything and take it seriously, and I'm not saying that people, that were really upset didn't take it seriously, but if you take a step back and you try to really analyze everything and you keep emotion aside and you try to be a little bit more honest about that and give the guy the benefit of the doubt, you get maybe 5 or 10 people that'll like it or agree with you. I posted the video earlier that everybody was like, convict him! That's it, he's guilty! Oh, I got the video. Do you know, go to my Twitter at DonTonyD and look it up. There's like 3,000 or 4,000 people that looked at that video. You know how many people liked what I said? 15. Because if you keep an open mind and you try to be a little bit, more down to earth about it, and when I get into what I say now, it's going to piss some people off, but I'm just giving my opinion. That's not popular. If I would have wrote on social media, convict that son of a bitch, showing nudes to underage kids is terrible, will not be tolerated, that's disgusting, he should be fired immediately, he should go to jail, blah, 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 I would have had 1,500 likes. But meanwhile, everything I said is untrue right now because we don't know what's the truth. That's the thing. We don't know what's the truth. But the most popular thing to do is to bitch, accuse, put someone down, convict. And that is more popular than anything else. And, that's why I get a little annoyed at some people on social media that I interact with. Because I'm like, man, have the balls to take your stance publicly. People are so afraid to go public and give their opinions on stuff like that because they don't even want to get one negative response. Just look at some social media accounts. The minute someone gets a negative response, just one, for any little thing, they'll flip out. So they'll take the high road, or they'll just put a little teaser up there but once the facts come out, I knew all along that he was innocent. I knew all along. Do I think Velveteen Dream takes his M&Ms with peanuts or not? I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. For people that maybe newer to my show and wonder, why do I say that, does someone take M&Ms? Do they like the M&Ms with peanuts or plain? That's like a stupid sexual joke that I make. If I say Velveteen Dream like his M&Ms with peanuts, that means he likes testicles. If I say he eats his M&Ms plain, that's vagina. That's basically. So when someone says, hey, does he like his M&Ms plain or with peanuts, that's like, does he like girls or does he like boys? Honestly, I could care less who he likes. I really mean that. I could care less. It doesn't matter who he likes. Dream 101, I'll get into the Lacey that, you know what? That's not bad. I'm going to say it now because that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Dream 101 says, do we think Lacey Evans should be paired with the Forgotten Sons? Not right now, because the Forgotten Sons, I call the Forgotten Sons of bitches, they seem to be heels. They attack New Day. So Lacey Evans right now is the baby face. She's going to Money in the Bank. I know a lot of people are pissed off that Sasha is not going to Money in the Bank. What did you think? I understand. Look, I've been saying for like 6 or 7 months now that Bayley versus Sasha Banks was happening. Now, that was before COVID. I'm still convinced Sasha versus Bayley would have happened at WrestleMania if COVID never happened and they were still going to be live in Florida, in front of fans. But they delayed it because of what's going on. They need to really, be cheap with some of their storylines because they needed to stretch longer. So, I get some people saying that Money in the Bank, maybe Sasha wins Money in the Bank and then she chooses Bayley. The problem is, and this is something I think a lot of people forgot, when you win the Money in the Bank briefcase, they make you tease it for a very long time. Very, very rare that someone wins the Money in the Bank. It's not like us with the Trump check, the handout. Because I know as soon as I get my $1,200, I know what I'm doing. It's going to be gone. It's going to be gone in 2 days. I'm going to pay bills. I'm going to buy something on Amazon. I'm going to buy something for this room probably. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this. Do you see the balloon thing I did the other day? Well, next week I think I get it. Either next week or the week after. Unfortunately, Amazon is a little bit slow on things that are not necessity. Like if I order like alcohol wipes or antibacterial spray, I'll get it in 2-3 days. If I order these giant confetti cannons that you twist and like tons, insane amounts of paper go out, it takes 2 weeks to get these. And next week I get the balloon machine, or the week after. When I get the balloon machine, it's going to be behind me. And all the balloons I have are all insults. You're a virgin, you're this, you're that, you have no balls, you're a loser. Some of them I won't ever use on this show. That's how bad they are. But I'm going to put a random balloon in the machine. And when someone contributes a certain amount on a super chat, it's going to trigger this thing to go off automatically. The only thing I'm trying to decide right now is, do I just let it blow until it blows up? And then maybe I wake up my neighbor upstairs? Or do I, pull it out and show everybody? But, when someone really contributes big time for the super chat, it says, do not use outside indoors. Do not puncture or incinerate container. Do not expose. And it says, this is not a toy. Do not use indoors. Pardon my language, but fuck that, man. Starting next week, we're going to start blowing these things up inside this place. So I have no idea what's going to happen. But I will tell you that there's limitations. I know there's someone out there that they'll say, hey, if you contribute enough, could you put it in your mouth and then blow it off? No, not that stupid. So we're going to have some fun. So anyway, getting back to Velveteen, yes, Rhythm, I agree. Let's get back to the topic. Unfortunately, people out there will immediately convict, and I try to look at everything in perspective. Now, I got some stuff here I want to share with you, and I'm giving you just my honest opinion, my gut feeling on this, and I will tell you why. I will tell you right from the get-go that I think this story with Velveteen Dream is bullshit. I also believe that there are a lot of people on social media, when they get blocked, especially when they get blocked and get insulted in front of others, there's a revenge element involved. Not on the same level, but it happened to me the couple of days, Monday and Tuesday. I was blocking people that never even ever listened to my show that was writing some really horrible stuff about me, some with death threats. And I just blocked them. Some people I gave insults back, but then I deleted them because I'm like, hey, I'm not going to get my Twitter account suspended for these fools. But I noticed the more I blocked people, the angrier they got. And Velveteen Dream was opening up his DMs to socialize with fans because of what's going on with COVID. Now, apparently someone, and again, I don't have every single nook and cranny and every detail that has been talked about, but I'll tell you what I have found so far. And once I'm done, maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. But I find it very suspect, and I'll tell you why. All right. Velveteen Dream apparently was on Instagram or Snapchats and other stuff. And there was one guy in particular. Well, actually, it all started with this. This person went on Reddit, I believe, and wrote this. All right. And basically, this person wrote, he posted on his Instagram story that his DMs were open, and now he's genuinely sending my friends and I messages of a sexual nature. I'd like to think it's a hacker, but I don't know. How do I begin to approach this? How do I contact WWE? I have proof. Now, right there, I have a problem with it because, number one, you could simply do a Google search, get WWE's phone number, get the head performance center, and, you know, you got the number right there. The fact that this person went on social media and says, I have proof, but then never posts any proof, and I'm getting to the video. That person does not post any proof, but says, hey, he's sending me all this stuff in sexual nature, but doesn't show any of it. They don't have to put the person's name. You see like this right here? See this? See how I blocked the names? All right, you see how easy that is? But let's get back to this now. All right, here's proof. Oh, we'll get to the proof. Oh, we will get to the proof. Oh, we will get to the proof. It's like playing the game of Clue. Then the person edits, he blocked me on Instagram after I wouldn't send him an uncensored nude pic back. Where is the conversation where the person, he or she, refuses to send the person the picture? Then the person says, I'm really worried about this. Does anyone have legal advice or whatnot? I'm thinking of deleting this all and getting to the police instead. All right. Now, again, you know, throwing this all out there, the account is anonymous, by the way, and we'll get to some of the proof in a second. Then, as, you know, trying to get more attention, you see all the added stuff. You could see this going in real time. All right, I post this, not getting the attention I want. Let me add this screenshot. Let me add this. Oh, by the way, everybody, I'm 17 and my friends are 15 and 16. Then the final part, the evidence that it is him, as follows. His phone number is Washington area code. His voice in the calls was accurate. It was off his verified Instagram account, and the picture he sent is believable. Okay, now, you just saw that last part. You see that last part? His voice in the calls was accurate. Now, if this person is starting to talk to you in a sexual nature, see, the person kept editing it to make it look exactly the person the way they wanted it to be. Tweaked things, deleted things. Oh, by the way, I'm 17. Oh, by the way, I'm 15. If you're an underage fucking teen and some adult is threatening you with sexual stuff, the first words out of your goddamn mouth is, hey, everybody, look, maybe I shouldn't have been having private messages with a 20-something-year-old wrestler at 3:30 in the morning because I'm only 17 years old. But hey, he's trying to send me and my 15 and 16-year-old friend dick pics. First words out of your mouth are the most important thing. Had to keep editing, keep changing things. So that's where I started getting a little red flags. But the kicker. Oh, the kicker. And you know what? I'll save the kicker for last. Because after that was posted, all right, we got this person here. Actually, forgive me, everybody. Let me put the image back because I accidentally deleted one of them. It's right here. It's right here. Velveteen Dream. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, let's put this up. See this right here? Oh, you can't see that. Yeah, this is better. This is the account that was putting all this stuff on blast about Velveteen Dream. On the left is all the conversations the person was having. Do you see the one in the middle? That when all this stuff started going down, this person was part of a chat or a group that was called Exposing Ends. Exposing Ends. I don't know if anybody ever saw this, all right? But That was one of the groups that this person was interacting with as all this was going down. But this was the kicker. Now, remember the original post with that person of all the calls? Now, if this person is getting creeped the fuck out by Velveteen Dream and has the wherewithal to hit record, where are all the calls of the sexual stuff that he's asking for pics or anything else? Take note that of everything that this person claimed to have, everybody get ready, because on social media, I swear on a stack of Bibles, this video that I'm about to play is what thousands of people were saying, convict him, needs to be fired, the cops need to be called, all because of this. Wrestling websites are putting this up as well. This is the controversial video that they're saying is explicit in nature. Everyone, please, this is not for the weak at heart and for the youngins out there.
What school do you go to?
Let's play this a couple of times.
What school do you go to?
Now, as you're listening to this, look at the conversation on the right.
What school do you go to?
Look at that.
What school do you go to?
Now, you show me. Now, let me just go back. You see this? How come this person did not show the screenshots of Velveteen Dream asking about their age? How come there's no screenshots of them telling Velveteen Dream that they're underage? Here's some earth-shattering news for some people out there. College people are not attended by teens unless you have the IQ of 500. Asking someone where they went to school does not mean that they're only talking about K to 12. I swear on a stack of Bibles, go everywhere you want today. That clip, people were like, oh my God, he's asking her where they went to school. The fuck you talking about? Seriously, come on, man. There's 20-something-year-olds that go to school. Where is all the proof? Look at on top of the clip. That person said something back. How come that person didn't play their voice? Where are the screenshots of him asking for this stuff? All right, they're talking about niceties, nice voice. He heard the voice. Show me where they said they were underage. Show me it. There's nothing. That is it. That is it. Now, here's where I honestly feel why this is bullshit, okay? After that was, now, oh, by the way, here is the photo that they claim he sent to these people, all right? Now, not for nothing, man, people started to take notice that, and you can't really see it over here, but people noticed that the other screenshots, the top, a little bit of the font, and even the blue checkmark symbol looked a little bit different. I really can't show it over. Maybe I can, but look at the.
What school do you go to?
No, that's actually not. No, you know what? I don't have it here. But if you look at the other screenshot with Velveteen Dream's name, the blue check mark is a lot more distance than the other. And people immediately like, whoa, maybe that person was using a different version of the Instagram or Snapchat. From what I understand, this stuff automatically gets updated. But even if it doesn't, how come one screenshot is completely different than the other? How come one is a black background with a different logo and then this one is a white background with a So if this is the same person, why we have different, backgrounds and stuff? Something doesn't add up to it. But this is the photo, and from what I understand, it was sent uncensored. Now, here's the thing. Again, this is the person who claims that they got this stuff. Where is the other conversation? This is the only thing they put up. You mean to tell me? Oh, and there's another thing too. Somebody really started to zoom in on the screenshot. And as you zoom in, when you cut and you paste something on something, especially on a photo, and you start zooming in, you start getting that little bit of distortion outlined around the names. If you start zooming in on that picture, the only part of the entire screenshot that starts to have that, those pixels circle around it is his name. So Velveteen Dream, to his credit, because he wanted to nip this shit in the bud, and this is probably the most important point I can make tonight. He issued this statement. All right, now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger over here. He issued this at 3:51 p.m., okay? He said, "Be assured I did not communicate inappropriately with anyone. A private photo of mine was shared without my consent or knowledge, and I am working with a third party to look into this matter." Okay? So someone had a photo of Velveteen Dream and leaked it out. And someone, probably claiming to be Velveteen Dream, wanted to chat with some people on social media, put their profile to make it appear that they're Velveteen Dream, or somebody was legitimately chatting with Velveteen Dream and then got blocked for some reason, and then as a revenge started photoshopping things. Now, why do I say this? This is why I say this. Pay attention to that time. This was at 3:51 p.m. today. Okay? Velveteen Dream made the statement at 3:51 p.m. Now, keep in mind the Reddit post, everything blew up this morning. And if you pay attention to the original post, they weren't sure if this was him or if it was hacked. No, they didn't know. They didn't know if it was him or if it was hacked. And some people started to come out and started to say, look, it's very easy for someone to mask, a number and make it look like it's coming from here. They were very, very vague about the specifics with the Washington number. Someone came out and claimed that they've been friends with Velveteen Dream for years and had their number and verified the number to be correct. But the funny thing about it is that was also an anonymous account. Everybody on social media that was making these accusations was anonymous, except one person in particular. And I blurred this person's name out and their photo because I don't want any shit to be thrown this person's way. But again, here's the most important thing. The people who claimed that Velveteen Dream was trying to get sexually explicit pictures from them or sending dick pics, they said that they didn't know if it was him or if he was hacked. And so if you don't know if it was him or not, and then Velveteen Dream comes out and says it was not me, okay? It was not me. Explain to me that less than 2 hours later, this comes out. This person tweets, and all this all led to me being able to talk to him and his mom through the process. Report filed, yup. And this person originally wrote 5 hours ago, I'm on the phone with one of the victims, and there is irrefutable evidence that it's Velveteen. It is being posted right now. That evidence was the school video. That was the school video. And then this person says, report filed, yup. Report filed, yup. Velveteen Dream says it's not him. Those people originally said they didn't know if it was him or somebody hacked his account. So once Velveteen Dream went public and said it's not me, they go and file a report. All anonymous. All these people that claim this stuff, no screenshots. Again, take notice of this. Of all the things that you record and you play, this is what they release. Here's the proof.
What school do you go to?
That's all they posted. Look.
What school do you go to?
One more time.
What school do you go to?
Sorry, not for nothing, man. When you edit and edit and edit and edit and edit and tweet and then add another tweet and another tweet and another tweet, and you say you got all this crazy proof. If you were that creeped out by this motherfucker, you show the screenshots of him asking for the nudes. You show the screenshots where you told him that you were underage. None of that was posted. So to be honest with you, this is what I hope happens. My gut feeling tells me he didn't do this. First of all, in this day and age, sometimes you get some morons like the Ellsworth situation and others, and to this day, it's rumored that he gave the picture to someone else who gave it to this person and this person. And we don't know the truth. But because you're creeped out by Ellsworth, he's guilty. I don't know what's true or not. Look at the Enzo situation. Enzo, he was accused of raping. It's just, you got to look at each individual case separately. But again, these were anonymous Reddit posts. Anonymous. Now, I don't expect the victim to put their name out there, but if you're going to be anonymous about it and you're that creeped the fuck out by this guy, that you have to edit, and then have someone post this, you have that much of a set of balls to post the dick pic, but you don't have the same set of balls to post the screenshots. All you recorded was, what school did you go to? What school did you go to? What school? And thousands of people on social media are convicting him because of that. There's wrestling websites that person posts proof of, interacting with minors. What school did you go to? Like nobody in college, nobody of age goes to school. I swear to God, man, this is one of the most asinine, dopiest things that I have seen in a very long time. But again, if you use this logic, no, we're supposed to crucify someone and convict them, no questions asked, blah, 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 blah. You take this perspective of it and you try to be reasonable. How dare you go against the victim? How dare you do this? Motherfucker, you posted a video. What school do you go to? How do you know? How do we know he didn't think he was talking to a college student? That person has no photo next to their profile. No profile. Nothing. No photo. Nothing. There's nothing. The posts on Reddit are anonymous people. But people clamoring for attention, wrestling websites clamoring for hits. People, what do I want to do? Do I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and get no attention from people? Or do I want to just convict him and say, that's disgusting, he should be fired, that's pathetic, and then you have a whole bunch of people with the world that we live in today, it's terrible. This is just my opinion. But again, when you have this person that posts this, that says, report filed in capital letters, yup. I don't know if this nitwit realizes that you could go to Florida right now and look up police reports, because Sean Ross Sapp, I'm not going to criticize him, but I'm just going to tell it like it is. He posted today about some incident in November where somebody's window in a car got broken and they saw security footage and it was Velveteen Dream leaving the scene or whatever, and it was $1,200 in damages, something like that. And it ends up that in February they didn't pursue charges, this and that. And then he writes this today. And then he writes, while looking into other things, we uncovered this. No. This guy tried to go on the sheriff's website or the court website, look under Velveteen Dream's real name, and while he didn't find anything about this, he found the incident that ended up being nothing, and decided to report it today because everybody and their mother was Googling and searching Velveteen Dream. All right, to me, that's a dick move, in my honest opinion. If it ended up that the stuff got dropped, all right, then it got dropped, plain and simple. People get accused of things, and it ends up that it amounts to nothing. A police officer still has to file a report. They still have to, if things did not get pursued, that is, you know what, I'm going to say, no, the more I think about it now, Sean Ross Sapp, you're wrong for doing that today. Because right now, Velveteen Dream is getting crucified on the cross for something that he likely didn't do because there's no evidence. There's none. He claims, and this is the best part, because I talked about it earlier, like with Ringside News and others, I guarantee you, Velveteen Dream, if he didn't do this, he definitely contacted someone because that photo was leaked. And IP addresses are going to get run, and somebody is going to get caught with this. So you could yup your way all you want. Unfortunately, number one, it doesn't go through the chain of command that quickly. Number two, a couple of hours earlier, they had no idea who it was. And they said it could be a hacker. And there were people that were coming out and saying, look, it's very easy to do this, very easy to. So you file a report. What proof did you have? What school did you go to? It's like, what school did you go to? What school did you go to? But you have the balls to post the dick pic, but You don't post no screenshots of nothing else. You post, what school did you go to? Oh my God, that proves it. He was asking a child what school did he go to. Everybody that immediately jumped to that, you're the people that are disturbed. Now, if it ends up, I'm going to say this too, if it ends up that Velveteen Dream knew they were underage, sent the photo, even if they were of age, that's inappropriate to do, in my honest opinion. That's, was it sexting or whatever? I would never do it. But the point is that, once again, if you look at all of the facts, and these are anonymous Reddit accounts, and you start zooming in on certain things, and the only thing that has a little pixelated stuff around it outlined is his name, and you start looking at, blue check marks not having the exact same distance, and people writing it off like, oh, well, it could be a different version of the program. But then you realize, wait a minute, well, why is this screenshot this, and this screenshot is different? All right. Oh, okay. Well, he was sending it to two people. Okay. Well, the other person who recorded everything in his let's see it all match up. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't match up. There's a lot of revenge stuff online. There's revenge porn. There's revenge everything. This guy pissed somebody off on social media, and he blocked them. And that person got so butthurt about it and decided they were going to fuck with this guy. And when you see that person go on a message board or a group that's how to screw, ends. So what you saw with the screenshot before, something doesn't jive, man. Something doesn't jive. But I tell you, if you, again, I think this is the most important thing. If you have the cojones, if you have the balls to show the actual nude picture, but you don't show any screenshots of the age, of him asking for nudes and this and that, and then all it is some teen on social media saying, I'm talking to the victims. I'm talking to the victims. I'm talking to the victims. They filed a report. Yup. In big capital letters. You know why? Because by writing in capital letters with a whole bunch of exclamation points, maybe that'll convince you. Yup. Exclamation point. These are teens that I don't think realize how forensically detailed this becomes. And if that person especially, if that person filed a false report, or if they didn't file a report at all, I hope Velveteen Dream goes after all of them, seriously. If no report was, and again, you could go to the court system online, search his name, search it Monday, search it Tuesday. What do you think, the court all of a sudden had COVID? What precinct did you report? Notice how they never were told what precinct they were. What precinct did you call? Seriously, what precinct? I don't want to say because people might start calling the precinct. The fuck you care? Report filed. Yup. Report filed. Yup. Seriously, man, come on. There's always the possibility that he could have sent something. But when you look at the people making the claims, and you look at all the things that are left out. Oh my God, I got proof. Look, everybody. What school did you go to? I mean, people are afraid to call people like that out on that because they don't want to be, how could you go against the victim? The Me Too movement? That's just the way it is. But seriously, man, I'm telling you, my gut feeling is that he didn't do this, that someone else had this photo of him. And maybe, you know what I think happened? The more I think about it, he was socializing with people for real. Absolutely, he was socializing for people. But he blocked a few people, and someone went on that FN's board or whatever and said, this motherfucker is blocking people, and then started making accusations that weren't true, and somebody sent them the photo of the nude and said, you know what? We'll say that he was asking for nudes. There is nothing on those screenshots where he's asking for nudes. There's nothing on the screenshots that talking about someone's age. All right. Where's the response? What school did you go to? What did you respond in return? Did you say Queens College or did you say, PS 128 Grammar School? Where's the response? What school do you go to? Oh my God. He asked me what school I go to. What pervert? And it blows me away when you start, again, but this is boring. To people online, this is boring. This is unpopular. There is a saying, misery loves company. Why do you think so many goofs on social media who hate AEW, that can't stand AEW, will tweet about it 90 times on Wednesday night? Because they're looking for attention. Misery loves company. When you see people, my God, I brought this up in the past. I've talked about things that have happened to me and people around me personally, and we notice Mish, he's seen it with his own eyes. All of a sudden, a day or two later, you'll see a couple of people who will make the same claim. And then about maybe a year ago, I said, Mish, I'm going to post this online. It was a lie. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was something. And I said, let's see if the same people, the usual sucks. No podcasters. Let me just throw it out there right now. I don't want anybody to start thinking, But I said, let's see if any of them fall for the bait. Sure enough, one day later, hey, everybody, keep my family in your prayers, blah, 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 blah. Like cheese to mice. Just rats. They fall for it. People desperately need attention. Velveteen Dream pissed some people off the other day. And they thought, hey, look, I got a dick pic. I'm going to share with everybody, but I'm not going to share with anybody proof that he asked me for nudes and stuff. I hope Velveteen Dream goes after all of them. I hope they fucking show up in court with mommy or daddy or aunt, and they're like, oh, I didn't know. I was only joking. I really thought it was Velveteen Dream. I'm telling you, man, it does not pass the smell test. It doesn't. Edit. If anything, you delete it, and then you edit. Yup. And most of it is anonymous. The best one was the person, I've been friends with Velveteen Dream for years, and I compared the phone number with this other person, and unfortunately the numbers were the same. About anonymous account. I don't buy it. Doesn't pass the smell test. So, again, there's always the possibility that he did this. And trust me, if he did this, I will be like everybody else and call for his head. But when you see this anonymous person, too many people, everybody, this anonymous person, this person on Twitter, this person pops up. Yeah, I've been friends with him for that was his number. Blah, 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 blah. The funny thing is, I wonder if you do an IntelliSearch right now or a White Pages search, and you type in his real name and you type in where he used to live, I wonder for $1.99 if it pulls up his old number. There are so many ways to skip trace online and get information on people. I don't buy it. You recorded all this proof, but the only thing you put up, what school did you go to? I don't believe it. Anyway, everybody, let me close out some of these notes. Did you guys see this? Looks nice, right? Drinking a little water. Let that soak in a little bit. Look at the outside design. Triple H logo. WWE put out this customized belt of the game. And you know what? What I will do for everybody is I will show you all of the outlines of pictures. Okay, here we go. Yeah, check this out. WWE put out this customary belt, $499 to commemorate Triple H's 25 years with WWE. No, Larry, $499. And let's share some of the photos. Okay, that is the front. That is the left side. All right, look, it's got a lion holding a WWE logo. Oh, that's very nice. Then we go to the other side. We have the same lion. King of Kings. Okay, the King of Kings. We got the WWE logo. See the Triple H logo in the leather? It's actually not an ugly belt. It's got some nice design. Let's see. That is the side of it. And let's see. We got the back. Yes, we got the back. That is the back of the belt. And that's what it looks like overall. So that is the belt to commemorate Triple H's 25 years in the WWE. Yeah, Ghost, it looks like the Attitude Era belt with a different leather design. That's really what it looks like to me. Look, a few people asked me this tonight. Is Triple H, yes, he's celebrating 25 years. When did he officially debut on TV? From going back, because I covered on History Show that I was doing, the date that I have is April 29th, 1995. So them choosing tonight definitely was not, look, obviously they decided to do this as filler because of what's going on with the pandemic. But Triple H's 25-year debut actually does coincide with this week. So definitely warranted. Now, I'll say this, without getting into a whole rant right now. Anybody that goes back with me to my hotline days will always remember when I used to use the term the Triple H Show. I used that term for a good 2 years on my wrestling hotline in the early 2000s, the Triple H Show. In fact, little growing up Don Tony, I think some of you may remember, some of you might get a kick out of it. I will never ever forget. You could look this up. I was working for XPW when they came to the Northeast. They were doing the shows in the former ECW arena. And after they had the first event, Hostile Takeover, and I've talked a little bit about this before, they were going to debut XPW television on Philadelphia TV. And myself and this guy Slash, who I don't talk to anymore, we used to go to the house in Yonkers or upstate, Westchester, New York, and we would go over to the guy's house. I don't know if it was Ron Buffone, I think his name was. I don't remember which one it was, but it was the guy who used to produce ECW. And I've told the story recently how we would be in the basement of this guy's house and just in awe. He would have screens and editing and mixers and video equipment, and this guy was the guy that always produced ECW TV. XPW hired him to do XPW TV. And he did XPW's first ever Philly TV show that was going to air on Philly television. And from what I remember, it was supposed to air, I think, on Tuesday. Either Tuesday, yeah, I think it was Tuesday. So what happened was, because the video was completed like on a Monday morning or a Monday afternoon, there wasn't enough time to FedEx the videotape, the little tape, to the TV station in Philadelphia. So what happened was Rob Black contacted, this guy Slash that lives, where I live, that I was working with. And he's like, look, you got to bring the video to Philadelphia's TV station. And you got to be there by like 10 o'clock because then they lock up the doors or whatever. So me and this guy Slash, we got in my car from New York and we hopped onto the highway, Jersey Turnpike or whatever. We went all the way to Philadelphia for the TV station and we dropped the tape off to the TV station so XPW could debut on Philly TV the next day. Me and this guy Slash. While we're on the Jersey Turnpike, this was like 9, 10 o'clock at night. It was like 9, 9:30. It wasn't 10 yet. Or maybe the cutoff was 11 o'clock at night. But we had obviously a deadline. Otherwise, you just imagine how bad that would have looked if XPW was supposed to debut on Philly TV and it didn't. There was so many people trying to shut XPW down when they went to the Northeast. So I remember Kevin Kleinrock. Kevin Kleinrock was a great guy, man. Fucking cool motherfucker. I felt so bad when I pissed him off when I fucked up the hotel, man. I got XPW banned in the hotel. I don't remember which hotel it was in Philly, but yours truly got them banned because I had an incident with the clerk. I'm not proud of it, but I'll tell the story another time. But anyway, we're on the Jersey Turn. It's not a belt, it's a championship. It's a championship belt. If you put it around your waist, it's a belt. So anyway, we're on the Jersey Turnpike. Now, Raw's on, and we don't have spoilers or anything, and we were curious what was going to happen. Bischoff, I remember, was on TV. This was, 2002? Did I remember correctly? And while we're on the Jersey Turnpike, some guy calls up Slash on his cell phone to give us some spoilers on Raw. And he tells us, you're not going to fucking believe this. Bischoff brought out the World Heavyweight Championship and he handed it to Triple H. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So that's how I always remember this story, because as we're on the Jersey Turnpike bringing the tape so XPW could air, it's the same night when Bischoff handed the championship title or belt to Triple H. I'm sure you all remember that. But that was the era. Around 2000 to 2002, 2003, on my hotline, I used to call it the Triple H show, because Raw would open up with Triple H. You would have right after the commercial, you would see the same goddamn thing again. Then towards the end of hour number 1, you'd see another segment with Triple H. Then at the beginning of hour number 2, you'd see another segment of Triple H. And then 1 or 2 times during the second hour, they would replay what happened at the beginning of the first hour. And then it would close out with Triple H. The Triple H show. It was annoying. That photo that I brought up in the past, it is online. Somebody made an awesome photo back in 2004, I believe, and it was a graveyard. And I know some of you have seen that photo. Maybe what I'll do, if I could find the photo, I'll put it online for everybody next week. But somebody took a graveyard and put on each stone every person that Triple H buried. Now, you look back, a lot of people forget how, and look, Mick Foley won't say, oh, Triple H buried me. Some other people won't say, oh, Triple H buried me. Yeah, you look back on it, maybe you don't feel that way anymore. Time heals all wounds. But I will tell you this much, man. As a wrestling fan in the early 2000s, the perception that we all got and the feeling that we all got was that Triple H was burying everybody. Wrestling fans felt that way. It wasn't, they're just bitter. They just want to complain about everything. We fucking loved wrestling. We still do. And we loved it at that time. But it felt like Triple H was the focal point of everything. And it was very annoying at times. But when I look back at Triple H's 25-year career, honestly, if you said to me right now that, I could hit that Men in Black wand and, Triple H's entire career would be erased, I would say, no, man. Triple H, as annoying as that was in the early 2000s, he entertained me a shitload over the years. Yeah, the return to DX was very corny at times. The stuff they did with Hornswoggle, I'll never forgive them for, and I say that lightheartedly. But Triple H, man, I see tweets today from Rhea Ripley that Triple H is the reason that she got into wrestling. And then I see some goof that won't even show nothing but a baby picture online and ripping the shit out of Triple H. And you could see it. It's just jealousy that you celebrate someone who had 25, overall great years with WWE. He's brought in some names to NXT you never ever in a million years would ever think would go. He helped mend the fences with Bruno and Brett and others. It's just, maybe not Brett. Brett's the wrong one. But the guy has done a boatload for WWE the last 25 years. Anybody out there that says otherwise, look, you may have not liked him as a wrestler, but if it's so beneath you to just, step aside and let the people that want to celebrate his 25 years, instead of just throwing dagger, it's people who need attention so badly that they have to interject themselves in every conversation, even the conversations that really don't pertain to them. Okay, you weren't a big fan of Triple H, or you weren't a fan of his at all. You didn't like him. You can't stand him. Well, step aside and let other people that do enjoy it. Rip. And then the funny thing is that those same people will appreciate someone that maybe I don't, maybe you don't. But if we throw little digs, why can't you stay out of it? What school did you go to? Triple H is a Hall of Famer. I will always appreciate all of the hard work. When I see wrestler after wrestler after wrestler after wrestler after wrestler that we see on TV today that we all enjoy. And they are going out of their way to thank Triple H and to give praise to him. I don't believe that all their names are John. And they're only saying it because they need their job. Triple H has helped a boatload of people. And Triple H, I think, is looked at as an uncle to a lot of wrestlers today. And he should be celebrated, without a doubt. Again, and this is from a guy that could not stand him in the early 2000s, the Triple H show. It was so freaking annoying. Jim Z, would I ever consider writing an autobiography? I don't know. I don't think enough people would want to read it. But I have so many stories I have yet to tell, man. You know, I got to find my right spots to do so. But, you know, I've enjoyed it, man. And again, you know, it's sad to see so many people that, you know, are jealous at it. And my answer to those people, even though they would never come out and say it, is, my God, you know, if you want to enjoy yourself and you want to experience certain things, it may not be the same things that I did, but if you want to experience certain things, go out and do it. Go out and do it. Unfortunately, some people will just tweet about it for years, and then they start believing the tweets. And as disturbing as this sounds, and believe me, I guarantee there's a lot of you out there that know people like this. When they tell the story for enough years and they actually start believing that it really happened, they start looking back at their life and they think that they had a full life and they did this and this, and they did nothing. They did zero. And that's a shame, man. It's a shame. Yeah, Juniper Park alone, man. My God, the stuff that I could talk about with Juniper Park. And the thing I love is that all the stories I tell, there's proof. 90% of them, there's proof. I always have proof. And, you know, in this day and age where everybody's got a camera phone, you know, there's no excuse not to show proof of something. You know, and it blows me away that there's some people out there that will tell story after story after story. Hey, you know, show us a picture. Oh, why do I have to prove it to you? What are you talking about? We just want to see a picture. You know, it's ridiculous, man. It's sad. Yeah, you know, Cress, you could look up the Chase Chronicles by simply going to DonTony.com and searching it. For people that don't know, at one point, about 6-7 years ago, I was in a lot of debt. I'm still in debt now, but at least it's not delinquent. And I was having it at it with collectors, and I was recording everything. And I was playing it for everybody online. And I would even tell these collectors, like, look, I have you on the air right now. Everybody's listening. And they wouldn't even understand. Look, recently I had the problems with 1-800-Flowers and some others. And, you know, I love documenting stuff, you know. The one thing that I regret, and I brought this up before, and don't make the same mistake that I did, everybody, because I met so many cool people at Lucky 13 last year, and I met a lot of cool people at Big Event this year. If you have the opportunity to take pictures with some of your favorite wrestlers, take the pictures. That is one thing that I regret to this day. When I was working pushing tickets for ECW in 2000, and, you know, because of my hotline. And then I got invited to some of their pay-per-views, and I got, especially that time where Guilty as Charged, I think, 2000, I think it was, and I got to hang out backstage with Paul Heyman and everyone else. I brought heroes from my father's store. You know, you got the infamous picture of Francine biting into the hero and stuff. It's on video. You should see my father's store logo and all. It's pretty cool. But me, I always had the mindset, like, I always talk to people like regular people. And I always felt like if you treat people just like everyday people back, that they appreciate that more. And I never, for the most part, never really said, hey, man, you know, can I take a picture with you? And I always brought up the times when I was picking up Shane Douglas when he was doing his shows for Goodman. And I would take him back to the hotel, and we would sit in the hotel. Tracy Smothers, God bless him, man. I hope he would pulls through this. I have said this since 2002. To this day, Tracy Smothers, one of the most intelligent people that I have ever met in wrestling. That guy loved to talk finance, loved to talk about business and stuff. And when he was doing the Southern Comfort gimmick, I think it was in XPW, I used to pick his brain and have a field day with it. Never did I ever think, hey, you know, let's take a picture. The only time I really did that was when I was doing the Deli Man stuff and everything. And I regret it, man. You know, just all the opportunities. I mean, I do have that picture with Cactus and Terry Funk from '98, but, you know, so many pictures that I just felt like, you know, I'm not going to act like a fan. I'll just act like a regular person to the person hanging out in the hotel rooms. And some of the stories I told even recently, never ever stopped to say, hey, Suffy. I really do regret that, because I would have loved to share some of those experiences. But yeah, Tracy Smothers is a good guy, man. Really good guy. So anyway, that was my rant on Velveteen Dream. Please, on this page, the YouTube, express how you feel about it. You disagree with me, I will totally respect it, as long as just you explain why. If you think he did it, I just personally think in this day and age, you have to be an absolute moron to just send nudes of yourself to somebody who you know nothing about. You don't have a photo of the person. You just have a name. You put yourself out there. You have to think that there's going to be some people underage. You ask yourself, what is a 15, 16, and a 17-year-old doing at 3:30 in the morning on social media? Where are their parents? You know, it's just something doesn't jive with me, man. And it's just my gut feeling. I just think you learn from what other people do. And here's another thing to think about, too. What about all the women in wrestling that got their stuff hacked? Look at all the page stuff that leaked out. I know some people think that, you know, one or two people were responsible for that, but you've seen photos leak out of Charlotte. You've seen photos leak out of Tony Storm. You've seen photos leaked out of Maria. You've seen tons of photos leaked out of so many people, and none of them did it themselves. So why would Velveteen Dream be any different? Why? Because he's a man? You know, so I just don't, it doesn't pass the smell test. I hope I'm not wrong, you know. And here's another thing, and I'll leave you with this, and then we'll talk about Smackdown and a little bit of other things. You know, what bothers me about social media more than anything else is that people want it to be true. Ringside News is a perfect example of that. When people were saying, look, man, you know, we really don't know. There's anonymous accounts, this and that. And you know what the person's response was? Well, we were right about James Ellsworth. See, you don't fucking crucify someone else because of what someone else did. And again, they hide behind no photos, no real names. I'm telling you, one day, one of these motherfuckers is going to get sued. I want to see them bawling, crying in court when they're a 500-pound, 20-something-year-old, no job, literally living in their parents' basement, who thought that they could just be anonymous and hide behind a computer and get busted. I'm telling you, I hope Velveteen Dream, if he didn't do this, I hope he goes after everybody. And then you know what's going to happen? People have more important things to do right now with COVID and coronavirus. I don't know, man. Yeah, and a lot of them were wrong about Enzo, too. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, anyway, Smackdown today, let's just talk about it very briefly here. Again, overall, I wasn't feeling the show. You know, having the Forgotten Sons of Bitches coming out, you know, they weren't bad in the segment. The problem is, you know, no, I don't care about the Forgotten Sons. I didn't care about them in NXT. Just because they're now fighting with someone else. Oh, we really defended our country. Okay, well, then it just looks kind of even more stupid that, you know, you're not a babyface, and that goes back to that gentleman earlier. Maybe, you know, you do. Oh, and I'm going to remind me before I finish this show tonight, I want to add one thing about Drake Maverick that I did not say Wednesday, that I got to say tonight. But the Forgotten Sons of Bitches, I'm just not feeling them yet. They just debuted. It's almost like, as much as I like El Hijo del Fantasma, he hasn't wrestled in NXT at all for the most part. You have the other guy that fought Drake Maverick the other day, Jake Atlas. He's a talented guy, but he hasn't earned his keep to be in a cruiserweight tournament yet, but they got to put bodies in there. But the Forgotten Sons of Bitches, they haven't done nothing yet on SmackDown, and I'm supposed to invest. And then the worst part is to have the freaking Lucha Undercard come out first. Not Lucha Underground, Lucha Undercard. That's what I call them. And you could see it just, they're like the Dana Brooke of luchadors, and, they're trying to come up with different stuff, and I get it. But unfortunately, today, it did not click with me. And when the matches went on later on, it clicked even worse. But, we had that opening segment with the New Day and the Lucha Undercard and the Forgotten Sons of Bitches and Miz and Morrison. And, it's interesting. Some people were absent on SmackDown. I wonder if any of them were John. There's one person I know a lot of us, especially after this week, would love to find out that person was John. But Drew Gulak versus King Corbin, man, I said it Wednesday, Monday. I really was hoping to see, maybe Buddy Murphy get a spot in the bank match. He's talented as fuck. No. Nah. All right. Buddy Murphy's not going to be in a ladder match. All right, maybe they'll give it to Gulak, and we'll see some fun interaction between Gulak and Daniel Bryan. No. Baron Corbin advances. Seriously, man, when Vince McMahon did this conference call and he said that a lot of what WWE is about is reaction from the crowd, when somebody climbs the ladder and you hear that roar, that build of the roar, like, oh my God, oh, you don't have that right now. So you put Baron Corbin in there. Nothing against Lacey Evans. You put Lacey Evans in there. Why? Because you're doing it now? Because if you did it in front of crowds would be sitting on their hands. So people just, it's obvious that people who are watching WWE right now are pretty much going to watch it no matter who's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But man, some of these decisions are just dopey, in my honest opinion. Daniel Bryan, the guy that has pregnant with child, that was going to go he was going to go and put himself in a hotel and quarantine himself for 14 days before he goes sees his wife and his kid. No, we'll leave him in the Money in the Bank. And I'm not criticizing Daniel Bryan. He's great ability. But I don't know. Some of these decisions, it feels like they're only putting some of these people in matches because they can't hide. They don't have to hide behind no reaction. Sorry. I don't think Dana Brooke would have got much of a reaction if she advanced the Money in the Bank if there was a live crowd. Sorry. Other than everybody who wants to do this, I don't think a lot of people would have gave a fuck, if the Lucha Undercard came out tonight. Sorry. Baron Corbin being the Money in the Bank ladder match, I think a lot of people would have been like, blah. Sorry, putting Lacey Evans in the Money in the Bank over Sasha Banks, even though Lacey Evans does have a little bit of a following now because people are starting to know about her private life, But some of these decisions, it feels like, we have no crowd. We don't have to worry about no reaction. Put them in the ladder match. Shut up! That's what it feels like. Gulak, no opportunity. Buddy Murphy, no opportunity. Climb the corporate ladder? Does Corbin need to climb the corporate ladder? He's already been fucking pushed up the corporate ladder. So, Ben, I agree. Sasha Banks doesn't need to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. They didn't need to put her in the match against Lacey Evans. They should have given that to someone else. Maybe you give it to Naomi. Maybe you give it. There's a lot of other people that Lacey Evans could have fought for that qualifying match. But they wanted to hit two birds with one stone. They wanted to have Lacey Evans win, and they wanted to further the storyline of Sasha and Bayley. So we put them together. And we'll have Lacey Evans beat Sasha. And by doing that, Lacey Evans could advance. And at the same time, Sasha could have more dissension with Bayley. And why am I talking like this? I don't like it, man. Gulak versus Corbin was an okay match. You know, we had Cesaro get involved, Nakamura get involved. It is what it is. To me, the match fell flat. Then you got, is it Daniel Vidit or Vido? I think it's Vido, right? As in Vido? Daniel Vido. Is it Daniel Vido? Sheamus beats him in 59 seconds. You know, we got all this Jeff Hardy build up. You know, I don't know, you know, if he's going to feud with Braun Strowman after Bray Wyatt. I don't know where this leads. Maybe Bray Wyatt has a feud with Jeff Hardy. Don't leave that possibility out. You know, wouldn't surprise me because Vince said that we're going to have more of these, like, you know, movie-like storylines and segments. So they see that it got a really good positive response. Sure, it goes against the traditional grain, especially what happened with Wyatt and Cena. I don't think they'll do anything that creative for the foreseeable future. But you're going to see a lot more cinematic. Is that the right way to put it? So I don't know. Right now, Sheamus is not facing jobbers as a deep push. They're just trying to show Sheamus's dominance. They unfortunately don't have as many name talents that Sheamus could just squash and bury in 50 seconds. A lot of them got released. Right now, it would probably be a good opportunity for woo-woo-boo. Or, you know, not the Kurt Hawkins. What did I used to say? I don't remember. But Dalvin Brown, yes, I got your PM on Facebook. I'm taking care of it this weekend, by the way. And yes, I agree with you. Not only does it warrant me saying it, but it definitely warrants me from putting it online. Let's see. He says, very simply, screw the goofs. The goofs don't bother me, but I have to make people aware that they're there because they do get a lot of time. They definitely get a lot of time. Okay, you know what? When we were talking about Velveteen Dream earlier, let me add this. This is definitely something for you all to think about. Ghost Crusader says that one of the was from an IG phone chat. An iPhone chat, and the other one was from the web. All right, that's fine. But still, you know, if he was sending this to multiple people, where are the other screenshots? But you tape, what school did you go to? That's your proof. What school did you go to? It just, when I saw that, where's the screenshots? Where's the trapping? Seriously. If right now, I'll tell you how my mind works. If I'm chatting with someone online right now and they start creeping me the fuck out and I want to expose this person, I bait them. I start recording it. I start, yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more. I go along with it. Meanwhile, I'm like, trust me. I have stuff stored in the computer for a rainy day if I want to start exposing a bunch of goofs online. I have some daggers, but, you know, to me, I don't like to do revenge stuff. But when you catch someone, you want to save it, you know, as a memory. I don't save it for a rainy day, even though I may down the line. But the point is, if you're in the middle, look at this creep. What did you expect at 3:30 in the morning? Who is your favorite opponent? Who's your favorite opponent? Who, if you could wrestle anybody on Raw right now, who would it be? 3:30 in the morning? The funny thing is, look at the conversation. You have such a cute voice. What do you think it's going to lead to? And if you started getting creeped the fuck out, that's you. If you think that where did you go to school is so disturbing, you leave that son of a bitch recording. You don't just shut it off. Oh, I got what I needed. Case closed. He's guilty. I'm telling you, man, I don't believe it. Yes, cassette. That's those Jake Roberts. Trust me. Fucking loved. I will listen to you, Snake Man. I gotta play that that mashup I did. You take that final scene when Jake Roberts put the Ultimate Warrior in that room with nothing but snakes. You start like manipulating that. That's a very sexual scene, and maybe I'll share it next week. But I got to be careful though, because I don't want to get flagged for copy. Maybe something like that would be allowed. So yeah, I'm very careful on here. I don't want to have any unforced errors, but maybe I'll just put it on Twitter. You know what? Actually, the more I think about it, yeah, I think I'll put it on Twitter either today or tomorrow. So just follow me at Don Tony D, and I'll play the Warrior Jake. I'm sorry, I don't mean this in any horrible way to put it, but I remember the title of my clip. It was called Warrior Jake Gay Sex. Because two guys, you know, gay is not always like a horrible word to say. Someone is gay; they are attracted to the same sex. So anyway, yeah, WWE will flag. I do believe that, absolutely. So let's get back to this Shangada episode of SmackDown. So we had Sheamus beating Danielle Vidot. Then we had the Lucha undercard beating Miz and Morrison in less than 5 minutes. You know, that match to me just, you have 1 or 2 spots, but it just fell flat. Then we had Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks. Lacey Evans getting the win. I did get a kick out of, you know, the cutout of the kid, you know, to try to give a little bit of heat. You know, it's got to give wrestlers a little credit here, whether it's WWE or AEW. You know, I brought this up before. You know, when you're in front of a live crowd, you could tell when something clicks and when something sucks. When you're in an empty arena, you have to guess, you have to assume, and you got to hope that it clicked. And the only way you'll know really is on social media. Social media right now is probably the most important tool for AEW and WWE especially. You are going to start seeing some indie promotions making returns in certain states. Now, I'm not going to do it today, but I know I'm going to have a debate with Mish over the weekend about it. I'm going to talk about it next week on the Don Tony Show, and we'll talk about more about, you know, these companies that are going to be working, these wrestling promotions that are going to be having shows again, even if it is empty buildings or outside, because some states are allowing people to go back. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. I know a lot of people still bash WWE for doing shows in Florida. You know, okay, put reruns on, and then 2 weeks from now when they let go another 15 WWE wrestlers because they're not needed right now, because, you know, they're not allowed to work, then you bitch. You can't have it both ways, man. You know. But anyway, we'll talk about that next week. So, Lacey Evans advances. Then we get the god-awful. You hyped it last week. It was almost as bad as all that hype for Jake Hager and Moxley. I enjoyed the match. It definitely had the star power to main event AEW. But you had 95 people from Bellator giving their predictions. And as much as I like him in AEW right now, as I'm watching all these Bellator people trying to tell me why Jake Hager is going to win, I'm like, it's still Jake Hager. They're not. It's not a main event that everybody's gonna. It's not a pay-per-view. They were treating it like a pay-per-view main event, and that's why the ratings were caca. But they hyped up this tag team title match today. Oh my God, Dana Brooke last week. Could she keep the momentum? No. Not only did she not keep the momentum, but she exposed today why she's just not. I don't think it's ever gonna be put together. You know. I mean, my God, Sonya Deville, after what she did last week, you would have thought that they would have really built on this today. But remember what I said last Friday. Sonya Deville cut the promo of her career. Now what? Now what? Tell me what storyline could be built where she would cut a passionate promo like that again. So, Dana Brooke, you know, look, you know, it's not only her fault. But Dana Brooke and Carmella, there was no chance whatsoever that they were going to win those tag titles. It was filler, but the match was not strong. Then we had, you know, the main event of the evening, which was paying tribute to Triple H. Shawn Michaels coming out, poking fun at Triple H's losses. Stephanie talking about Shawn Michaels' lazy eye, which was hilarious. Did I ever show you that I actually can impersonate Shawn Michaels with the eye? I don't know if you ever saw that. I used to be able to do this in school better than anybody, but I don't know if I could do it now as good as I used to. But I used to be able to, let me see, I used to be able to cross my eyes and then make one go the other way. Like I used to pretend I was, I was Robert Gibson and Shawn Michaels. I mean, look everybody, I'm Robert Gibson. Hey, look everybody, I'm Shawn Michaels. You know, yeah, that's why I used to. Let me see if I can do it again. I don't know if it came across on the video. But yeah, I used to do it really, really good. And my mom used to slap me in the head. She's going to be like, your eyes are going to stay like that. Anybody ever do? Yeah, I know, Ben. It's oof. I used to do it as a teenager. I would cross my eyes and then I was like, hey, whoa, look at that. I could go like this. RVD did do a funny HBK impersonation. Ric Flair on the cell phone. You know, he's about to cry again. God bless him. And then Vince comes out. You know, they're showing DX. They're showing Mania. They're poking fun at Triple H. Triple H, you could see getting emotional over it. And deservingly so. You know, it sucks that there's no live crowd there to really enjoy it. It sucks that you can't even have a bunch of people together. Although the opening segment today, people are like, hey, wait a minute. Forgotten Sons of Bitches, 3. New Day, 5. Miz and Morrison, 7. Lucha Undercard, 9. You know, there's 9 people right there, and they're all together. But I like the segment. Paid tribute to Triple H as best as it could. Again, this is one of those that you wish there was a live crowd and no COVID, because you would have had tons of wrestlers surprising. They would have had this big ceremony probably after Raw went off the air or SmackDown, or maybe even NXT. Who knows? But Vince, to me, was the highlight. And, you know, he's talking about Katie Vick. You know, all of a sudden they're infatuated about Katie Vick. And a lot of Vince's jokes did fall flat. You know, that sucked. You sucked. Katie Vick. And how can you be? Vince, you could see. He's up there. I mean, we know how old he is, but you could see now why when he makes his appearances, they're even when they were doing the conference call. And obviously, I'm going to run out of time a little bit tonight about the conference call, but a couple of things I found very interesting. If you look at this over here, if you look at the left side where it says Q1 on the bottom. WWE for the first quarter of 2020 only had 41 events compared to 90 in 2019 and 99 in 18. And if you look on the right where it says number of events, that's international. Last year and the year before, they didn't have any international events for the first quarter. And if you're going to blame it on COVID, COVID is only the last couple of weeks in March. So this really did not affect all that much. But here's the most important thing. If you look at the left, see that red bar that's 6.3? That is the average attendance in the United States for the first quarter of 2020. WWE actually averaged 6,300 fans this year, which was very surprising for me to see. Second thing is the average paid subscribers on the left. The red shows WWE's paid subscribers as of the first quarter of 2020. As you could see, that they have about 120,000 subscribers less than last year. And on the right, they talk about the domestic paid subscribers. So they have 1.5 million in 2020 that are within the United States, which is down from last year. You could see the trends, how it's going down. Last year, they had a bigger audience. This year, it's less. And that's a little surprising, especially with the pandemic. Netflix went through the roof with their subscription. So the fact that WWE has gone down even with freebies, and speaking of freebies, check this out. This is probably the most important one. WrestleMania, as far as the free and paid subscribers on the network, in 2020, they had 1.6 million subscribers. Well, actually, I take that back. They had almost 2.1 million, which is up from last year. But look at the freebies. Last year, they had 233,000 free subscribers watching WrestleMania 35. This year, that jumped all the way up to 476,000. But the paid subscribers for this year's WrestleMania, which was only 2 weeks ago, was 140,000 less, 145,000 less from last year and less from the year before. And remember last year, and look, I don't want to get into controversy today, but I think a part of it has to do with this push of the women in wrestling. To me, a lot of it did not feel organic. Becky Lynch felt organic for a while, and some others as well, but you could see some of the issues being forced simply because of the gender of someone. And I think WWE last year especially, and I brought it up before, I talked about it many times last year, pushing Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch and Charlotte for WrestleMania was fine, but it was done at the expense of a lot of male wrestlers, and a lot of male wrestlers really lost their momentum, and overall, it hurt the product. It hurt the product. And, you could see how they've scaled back a little bit, but they do get those nights where they'll have 4 and 5 women's matches. And then they end up with the almost record low ratings, like Monday, on the conference call. I'll talk about the conference call Monday on the DTKC show, but the conference call, people were asking Vince, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You're the only sports technically on TV other than repeats. Why is it down? He actually blamed some of it on Brock Lesnar not being there. He blamed some of it on they're pushing new talent on Mondays more than anything else. I'm going to have a field day with this on Monday. But with that said, everybody, I am going to jet out. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. I really wanted to stay at 2 hours today. But again, you're more than welcome to, if you want, not forcing anybody, but if you want to subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/DonTony. This Sunday, Mish and I are doing breakfast soup. Those shows average 2 to 3 hours minimum. And then Monday, you have the DTKC show. Next Wednesday, I'll be back with Wednesday Night Dynamite. Next Friday, we will probably celebrate the 10,000 subscribers here. I am 90% certain that we're going to do the one-chip challenge. And then maybe we'll also pop some balloons. And Drake Maverick. This is what I want to say. I got 2 minutes, so I could share it. Let me tell you why I think Drake Maverick needs to stay and why this needs to turn into storyline. More I thought about it, it hit me. WWE needs to have at least one storyline that's to do with COVID. One storyline has to do with what's going on with coronavirus. The world today. People downsizing, businesses closing down, people getting laid off, people getting fired. You need to have at least one storyline on television to reflect this. Drake Maverick is the perfect storyline for that. I hope WWE, as I said Wednesday, had seller's remorse. I hope WWE decided to keep him, and I hope they turn it into a storyline. I hope he stays, and I have no angst whatsoever if WWE changed their mind and kept him and turned it into a storyline. So, everybody says I hit 10,000. So I'm going to go look. Wow, man. There's that many people still live right now. Wow. Is there that many of you still live? I'll make a deal with all of you out there. Right now, only 1/8 of you have hit the like button. If you enjoyed this episode tonight, then what I'll do, even though I wanted to cut it off at 2 hours, I'll go another 30 minutes. And if you want to join the chat, I'll open it up for Q&As. You don't have to do super chats unless you want to be seen on the screen. But I will do Q&As with everybody. We can talk about a few other things. Maybe I'll elaborate a little bit more on the Drake Maverick thing. But everybody tuning in right now, if you're enjoying this, hit the thumbs up. I'll hang out for another 30 minutes. Why not? And look, hey, if we hit 10,000, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I started second week in January here. I was hoping for 10,000 in a year. hitting 10,000 in about 3.5 months. So it's been unbelievable. I got to thank you all. So again, you know, if you're enjoying this, hit the like button. I'll stick around for another half hour. Yeah, fuck it. So look, with the Drake Maverick, some people brought to my attention what Brian Alvarez said. I swear to you, I never, ever heard of the Brian and Vinny show before. I might have seen that name pop up when some people say shows that they like and everything. Thank you, Robert. I really do appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. He wanted to wish me a happy 10,000 day. Wow, that's awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Much love. But I tell you, you know, look, I swear on a stack of Bibles, I'm not doing anything to start controversy. I tell it like it is. If it pisses people off, so be it. You know, some people need to put on their big pants and sometimes, you know, take responsibility for what they say. That's why I felt the need to apologize a little bit to Sami Zayn from Monday. I thought I went overboard. I took it personal. I always was a fan of Sami Zayn. Some of the storylines over the years, some might have been a little subpar. But anybody that goes back when he won his title, I mean, I was ecstatic about it. That was my favorite part of the entire pay-per-view, when he won the title. So I was disappointed. And I know he's been political in the past about Trump and others, but this hit a raw nerve because people need to feed their families. People need to work. You know, people can be responsible. I could wear a mask. I could stay 6 feet away from people. If I have to sneeze or cough, I'll have a fucking box of tissues or a rag or something, and I'll sneeze in the fucking tissues. And then if there's anybody anywhere in the vicinity of me, I'll say, listen, everybody, stay aside. I just sneezed. Spray some fucking Lysol. Kill that son of a bitch. You know, everybody makes it sound like, you know, if you walk into a fucking... Look, I think tattoo parlors could wait a little bit longer too. But it's not like you're going to walk into a tattoo parlor and be like, you know, like, mask off, this, you know, in people. You know, I think people are common sense. Nobody wants to get sick. And if people are still afraid, stay home. If you're afraid to go to your hairstylist right now, stay home. Nobody's forcing people to go to work. You know, so it's risk. It's risk. There's a lot of things in this world that involve risk. Nobody should lose their house. Nobody should be evicted. Nobody should get thousands of dollars in debt. Nobody should have to decide, should I buy my insulin or should I put food on the table? I got no money coming in. All right. Again, here in New York, Cuomo, doing everything for the sick. The fuck are you doing for the healthy? Seriously, what are you doing for the healthy? What have they done? You know, some insurance companies are now giving like 15% discounts to people to try to keep their business and stuff like that. But, you know, there's a lot of bullshit going on, man. I'm getting a little hot with this vest, but I have to show my love to Reefer and Jay Lover, man. BQE, man. But, yeah, Gauntlet, I'll follow you once I'm done with this. I don't mind. But, you know, so I was very hurt with what Sami Zayn said. But I'll tell it like it is. I may regret going a little too far sometimes, but when I started this YouTube channel with all of you, you know, and we'll get right back to Drake Maverick and a few other things. Number one, you know, after 22 and a half years of audio only, it got very boring. I knew that there was this connection that I was missing. This, you know, my personality. I see other people on video. I see how animated they get. I see how they have fun. They get creative. They do goofy things, you know, and none of that can be done on video. And I started hyping video back in the summer of last year. And I think a lot of people didn't take me seriously because of all the years of me going audio. The minute I started video, I mean, the level of hate and anger from some people really pissed me off. And I'm not going to lie, man. There was one person who said that I don't need to be a middle-aged wannabe YouTube star. And, you know, I like the person. I you know, but I took that really personal. I'm like, okay, all right, motherfucker. All right, we'll see. And Cress, maybe JD from New York yells too much. That's his style. That's his style. I used to dislike JD from New York like you wouldn't believe. I thought he was just a cranky. Nobody forced you to watch some of the things. Then I started really paying attention. And then I understood him a lot more. And he's not someone that just bitches because misery loves company. He wants wrestling to be a lot better than what it is. And he will praise things, WWE, where it's deserving. And he will rip things, and he doesn't hold back. And, you know, look, there are some people out there that despise AEW. But they talk about AEW more than fans that talk about AEW. You know, so, but anyway. But when that was said about me, like, oh, you know, I don't need to be a middle-aged wannabe YouTube star, I was like, okay, motherfucker, we'll see about that. I'm poking fun at myself in some ways. I'm having fun doing this. I love looking eye to all of you out there, and you see, and it's totally different. I'm not hiding behind a computer anymore. And this is just the beginning, everybody. This is just the beginning. I'm still not used to doing video, but I'm having a ball, and I appreciate everybody. And, you know, I just thank you. And, you know, this channel's just begun. A year from now, this is going to look totally different. Going to expand, tweak, add things, take it away, get even more interactive. This is just the beginning. And look, there are some podcasters out there that really do show support towards me. JD's one of them for sure. Lee, RCWR, my God, Kayfabe, you know, he's awesome guy. And Kayfabe, I like it. By the way, Kayfabe, what the fuck is your first name, man? I never bothered to look. Anybody in the chat, what's his first name? Because I always felt stupid, like, okay, Fabe, shout out to him, but what's his first name? But, you know, Jason, good guy. JD from Good Guy. There's others. Joe Cronin's good guy as well. But there's some people out there that absolutely hate that I have gone video. So, but anyway, so Drake Maverick again. And by the way, if anybody knows Fabe's first name, I want to... Joe Cronin, yeah, I just said Joe Cronin. He's another good guy. He definitely, you know who's also a good guy? That guy that was sick. Jake DeMarco, I think. He's another good guy. There's other names I'm forgetting. Dells, absolutely Dells. There's a bunch. And that's why I don't like to start getting into names, because I'm leaving people out right now, not intentional. But Drake Maverick, man, this gets back to Alvarez and Vinny. I never heard of the Brian and Vinny show. I might have seen it on tweets when some people list shows they like, but I never saw it before. Few people wanted my thoughts about the clip where they talked about Maverick. And, you know, it sounds like, you know, they praise Maverick. They commend Maverick, good guy, talented, everything like that. But they're talking about, you know, the WWE storyline part of it. And there's a lot of people on social media that feel like if WWE's turning this into like, they were not happy that WWE on NXT played Maverick's video. I thought that was absolutely appropriate because it builds into the storyline. This is what I think a lot of people miss the boat about, whether it's their show or anybody else out there that might be upset that WWE's turning this into a storyline. If you truly cried when you saw Drake Maverick's video, if you got choked up, if you felt bad for him, if you're a fan of his, then you want as much of that real emotion to be put on the television set, because that may trigger more people to start rooting for Drake Maverick, to get behind the guy. And the more people that do that, the more WWE is going to see that, and the more of a reason why WWE should say, look, we got to keep this guy. He's got a big fan base out there, and people are really getting behind him. That's such good shit. You know? So WWE has enough money to keep him. I understand, whoa, then why can't you bring Sarah Logan back, or why can't you bring this people back? Because we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Somebody has to go. You ever see baseball teams, baseball movies? Remember Major League? They all open in the lockers and somebody got the red flag and that means they were cut. Some people you don't want to cut, but you have to. Some hard decisions. It's not fun. Somebody has to go. But John, is that his name? No, nobody knows. Oh, Connor. Okay. All right, Connor. Much love, my friend. I don't know if he's seen this now, but he's a good guy. Seriously. That guy I've never talked to before. And I think that guy, no bullshit, other than my inner circle of podcasting friends, Mish and all of them. But that guy, I think, really supports me more than anybody. I feel it. But anyway, but Drake Maverick, man, if you're rooting for this guy and you feel bad for him, let it turn into a storyline. I would be totally fine if Drake Maverick wins the title and then gets on the microphone and bashes the entire WWE universe saying you all fell for it. Again, there are some people out there that think that is a possibility. And I think Brian and Vinny's show were kind of teasing this too, that don't be surprised if WWE released a bunch of names and they put someone's name in there that's just storyline. They're not going to do that, man. You do not fire a bunch of people because you're forced to downsize because of COVID and then sneak in there someone that is strictly storyline. Not even WWE is going to do that. Seriously. I mean, that's just conspiracy theories and anything else. But Drake Maverick, if he wins the Cruiserweight title and then tells everybody, go fuck yourselves, not cursing, but if he swerves everybody and he was never leaving, at the end of the day, you're watching entertainment on television. At the end of the day, when he's in the ring fighting for his career, it is scripted. He's not really being, it's entertainment. They already know who's winning between him and Jake Atlas. But it's entertainment. When the cameras are on, it's entertainment. It's an entertainment company. It might be a little distasteful, but if you know and I know that Drake Maverick was really fired, and then WWE saw how much love and support he's getting, and they turned it into a storyline, he may, in storyline, curse everybody out, or not curse, but, turn heel. But we know what the reality is. So if you root for the guy, whatever happens, just enjoy it. Stop, nitpicking it. They need to have one storyline on television about COVID. Look, today with Shawn Michaels, I got 2 words for you. Social distancing. That's like the most that WWE's really talked about COVID today. Even Vince. They're kind of leading to, they don't want to talk about it. So since they don't want to announce it by name to the WWE Universe, do one storyline where someone's career or life, their in-ring life with WWE is at stake because of what's going on in the world. And nobody wants to see anybody lose their job, whether it's Cress or Sulin, JL, Chad, Anthony Diaz, Ray Durazo, anybody listen, nobody wants to see any of them out of work. You don't want to see your friends out of work. You don't want to see people you see on TV out of work. So if you have one storyline where someone could possibly be saved over it, and that person is Drake Maverick, get behind this guy. Put aside, could WWE turn this into a storyline? Motherfucker, you might be part of the reason why he gets to keep his job. You don't even, and the best part about it is you don't have to spend no money doing it. I see all these people, buy a shirt, buy a shirt, buy a shirt. I did what I could, money-wise. I don't have that much money. But a lot of you know what happened with me with Drake Maverick, which was cool. And, some people I bought shirts. Some people I contributed to them a little bit differently. And in his case, I wasn't mentioning anything publicly. He's the one that decided to mention it publicly. And then everybody found out about it. I was able to support because my thinking is, I got $8,200 in credit card debt. What's another $100? That's how I look at it. The fuck it. That's how I feel. but Anthony's like, don't speak on my behalf. But, the closest, and I mentioned this on Wednesday, the Daniel Bryan storyline, that newer wrestling fans, or wrestling fans who have only been fans for 5-10 years, you have no idea how rare that Daniel Bryan storyline was. How rare it is, to have WWE totally change course and really appease and give the fans what they want, and to someone deserving like Daniel Bryan. Drake Maverick's not on the level of Daniel Bryan, but doing a reality storyline technically true. So get behind them. It doesn't cost nothing. If you want to see somebody keep their job that didn't deserve to be let go, here is your chance. Here is your chance. If you could, and the funny thing is, someone said, if Drake Maverick keeps his job, should I demand my money back? No. Because, it was done out of appreciation and I'm just love to the people out there. You don't want to see people hurt. Like I've said this before, and a lot of you don't notice, there are a few podcasters that I sent masks to, shipped it to them. Mish, you have no idea how much Mish has helped people with that. There are 2 podcasters that I sent toilet paper, paper towels, Yoo-hoo. Another guy I sent wet ones. Because on Amazon, you can't buy any of this stuff anymore. But about a month ago, and Mike, Your Best Bargain, and a few of you tuning in, you saw it. I posted the tweets about it a month ago. You had to keep reloading Amazon, and then something would pop up. And then what happened was they issued that executive order, and then Amazon decided that they're not selling any of that stuff except for hospitals. So it got all pulled. But me, I got this much of wet ones and masks and everything like that, and I sent some out to some people, So, but that's just what it is. But Drake Maverick, it's the perfect storyline. Anybody that gets bitter that WWE plays the video of him crying, my God, that's hitting emotion. The whole storyline right now. And look, he might be released anyway. Some people are saying, well, as of right now, he hasn't been rehired, but he's being paid through this 90 days. Well, guess what? Whether he was on TV or not, if he's got the 90-day no-compete, he'd still be paid right now. So very rare that WWE publicly fires someone and keeps them wrestling. It's not, the first time. Maybe it's not public with people leaving, but I brought it up Wednesday. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. Their contracts, they weren't renewing. They were going to WCW, and they finished out their WWE career. That led to the curtain call and everything else. You've had wrestlers finish their contract, and WWE knew that they were leaving, and most times they get jobbed out. So, but anyway, like I said, some of the things I do, I don't make it public, but since we're having this conversation, the only reason why I'm bringing it up, this stuff I did weeks and weeks ago for a lot of people. But, even the Drake Maverick thing, I wasn't making it public. I even told the guy, I'm like, look, please do me a favor. I said, don't post anything about this. And he's like, I know, but I'm doing it anyway. So that guy, you have the opportunity to possibly save that guy's WWE career. And that's a guy you root for. So that's a storyline. Absolutely, man. So, so what do you guys want me to talk about besides? What else could we talk about? We could, you know what? I might as well bring this up. Since we're still talking about it, let me bring this up. Because I actually, okay, here it is. I have it right here. When they had the conference call, and you actually might find this interesting. I'll just mention this one thing from the conference call, because this is probably important. Because I know there's still a lot of debate about WWE having the shows at the Performance Center in the middle of coronavirus. But during the conference call, Triple H said, and Vince opened up with it, but Triple H took over because I think he wanted to be the one to say what they're doing. But Vince said that they have a form that talent has to fill out weekly. And that form is, have you had any fever? Have you had any symptoms? And this and that. They're also taking everybody's temperature. We talked about that about 3 weeks ago. Remember the 100.4 thing that nobody was talking about? Then he said that they have talent sequestered at a hotel, okay? This is something that I actually am in favor with because AEW is going to be doing the same thing. What these wrestlers are doing is they're going from the hotel to the arena, to the hotel. They're going to do their 2 weeks worth of tapings. That's why they're doing this every 2 weeks. I don't know if anybody's figured it out. I talked about this a month ago. Now, yes, a month ago we did not know that they were going to do these tapings and nothing's going to be live after this for a while. But I said a month ago, I said, do you notice every 2 weeks they seem to be bringing people in? Some people are there every week, Asuka and some others. You know, where are they going to go? You know, some don't have homes in Oklahoma or Georgia or California and other places. Some, you know, they're just temporary residents till they go back to their country. You know, so Kyrie Sane is another. But the thing is that while they're there for the taping, and this is what people need to understand. And again, I have said since day one, you want to get angry at Florida. Get angry at DeSantis. Get angry at Connecticut for making the exception for WWE. I said a long time ago that either some roster members in the ring have to get COVID or the government. Those are the only two ways this shit's going to get shut down. But what they're doing now is any wrestlers that are there for the bunch of tapings, they're sequestered to the hotel. They go from the airport to the hotel to the arena. They're going to do the 2 weeks worth of tapings for a day or two. Then they're going back to their homes. They're going to be gone for 2 weeks. God forbid someone gets COVID while they're home for any reason, they don't come back. So that's why the 2 week window is so important. Also, when they were talking about it, so this, I don't know how much this is, but apparently after every match, they're cleaning the ropes in the apron. This reminds me of old ECW. And you remember old ECW? You remember Towel Guy? I wonder how many people out there remember Towel Guy. For those that don't know, old school ECW, when we used to go to the events, after a match was happened, Curly Man, I haven't talked about that indie wrestler yet with the racist stuff. That guy's a piece of shit dirtbag. He's done. I don't have his name in front of me, but somebody who's going to a wrestling school that was owned by a black person, ironically. This white guy who was a college guy, I think, went into a hotel and did this whole racist thing in a bathroom using the N-word and everything. And they outed him online. They've realized that this guy was an up-and-coming wrestler in the school. And he's been like banned and banished. That guy's career is going to be pretty much gone. Find a new line of work. Anybody in the chat remember this asshole's name so I could at least acknowledge the asshole? But yeah, that's a dirtbag. Sami Zayn's not a dirtbag. That's a dirtbag. Somebody in the chat will post his name in a moment. But getting back to ECW. Anybody remember Towel Guy? After each match, some guy would take a towel and he would wipe all the ropes before the next match. And when he would wipe the ropes, I can't do it here because I don't have anything really in front of me, but he would take this big towel and put it around the rope and he would run. And all the fans would go, whoop, whoop. And that's how he would wipe all the ropes. And he had to do it fast because people don't want to wait for the next match to go that long. Towel Guy. There's a name from the past I think a lot of people may have never heard of before. But I don't buy this putting up new ropes and new turnbuckles, especially that it was live this week. That's an awfully long time, man. That's an awfully long time. So I see them doing something more like, Chad remembers Tallow Guy. That's how you know when you really watch ECW or not, but especially live. But I think what they're doing is similar to that. Now, because everything is taped now, they could spend 5 minutes wiping down all the ropes with the chemical, let it dry for a minute or two. You don't want the ropes to be super wet or damp, especially if you have anybody jumping off of the tops in them. But that's something else that they're doing as well. Okay, that dirtbag, the racist, Jay Hunter, that's the guy. If you didn't see the video, everybody, be prepared. It'll piss you off. Go on social media. Go on Twitter. Just type in Jay Hunter, racist. You'll see what comes up. Triple H chimed in and said, this is interesting, man. I wish he would have posted the name. They have a special cleaning product that lasts 90 to 120 days. And what this stuff is, maybe someone in the chat knows it, you know? No, you cannot inject yourself with it. But supposedly, you spray down the building inside with this stuff, and it puts some type of a coating. And the coating lasts 90 to 120 days. So if the virus lands on it, it's like dead on arrival. I've never heard of anything like that. You know, I know if you spray something right after, you could kill it. But I really want to know what this stuff is called. Now, I will admit, I haven't done any searches online yet about it. But that's something they're spraying in there too. That's a big fucking deal. Now, do I think Triple H was lying? No. This was an investor call. They're not going to lie about stuff like that. But I wish he would have named it. And they're spraying the facility, the production trucks. It's a cleaning solution. But I honestly have never heard of a cleaning solution that you could clean your whole interior with and the coating stays there for 90 to 120 days. That kind of, I don't know, that feels a little bit odd, but hey, if it works, it works. I don't know why people haven't pushed it before. So he also said that, let's see, I'm looking. That's pretty much what they're doing. You know, they didn't admit that they're testing everyone, but they're making everybody fill out a questionnaire, and they're doing everybody's temperature, and they're sequestering everybody at the hotel. And what they're doing is they're pulling, the hotel is right near the performance center. I don't remember which hotel it is, but what they do is they pull in, you know, whatever number of people to do a couple of matches. They send them back to the hotel. They bring other people in. Now, keep in mind, when they bring people in, not only are they now taping for that Raw later on, but they're also going to tape the other segments for the following week. That's why you see a lot of interaction with the same people. You know, last week's Raw was live, but that's why you may see one week, you may see Aleister Black versus, I don't know, Austin Theory. Then the next week you'll see Aleister Black versus Angel Garza. Or maybe you'll see Aleister Black versus Andrade. Technically, that's the group of people pulled from the hotel to the building, doing their stuff, going back to the hotel. Now the next batch come in. While they're waiting for them, they wipe down the ropes, they wipe everything down. I think they're taking enough precautions. I'll tell you this much. I hope everybody out there has seen the video of that scientist yesterday that said that the virus only survives for about 2 minutes when it's in sunlight and it's 70 degrees with like a low humidity or a higher humidity. Because if that's the case, a lot of indie feds, AEW, WWE, they should consider doing some more outdoor shows. In fact, I wonder if Vince got some early, notice about that. And that's part of the reason why they decided to put a ring on the top of the fucking WWE headquarters, doing a little bit of outdoor work. Because, this virus, apparently, if it is exposed to sunlight and it's at least 70 degrees out with high humidity, the virus only survives, or its half-life is only 2 minutes. Otherwise, and look, I don't have, the info in front of me, and I'll just be 1 minute with this, I promise, but it's a big deal. What this scientist was saying yesterday was that, for example, if you have somebody in your house, achoo, and the virus goes in the air. Let's say it lands on the desk where I'm at right now. Inside my house, if it's 70 degrees with no sunlight and there's no humidity, obviously, the half-life of the virus is 18 hours. So if I have 100,000 organisms, 18 hours from now, I have 50,000. 18 hours after that, I have 25,000. 18 hours after, and that's how it goes down. But if I'm outside and it's sunlight and it's at least 70 degrees out with some humidity, and that same 100,000 organisms falls on a picnic table and it's directly on sunlight, the half-life is only 2 minutes. So 2 minutes, and 2 minutes, within 10 minutes, there's no virus. So that's why when you look into this, I think the people that got infected that were on South Beach, I don't think they got sick on the beach, a lot of them. I think a lot of them got sick when they went into the mutual bathrooms to go clean off or to pee or whatever. Or maybe they went into one of these tiki bars or a restaurant or something like that where it was inside, because the life of the virus is just think, go from 18 hours to 2 minutes. So I think a lot of people on the beach that were, dancing and hanging out, I don't think a lot of them caught it that way. I think once they went into these mutual bathrooms and somebody sneezes or spits on the floor, I mean, how many of you seen that? That was one of my memories of going to Shea Stadium when I was a lot younger. I remember going into the bathrooms, and I'm sure a lot of you have done this recently at some WWE events, or I don't know about AEW, but how many times have you gone to a football game, a wrestling event, a baseball game, a concert, and you go into the bathroom to pee, and maybe all the urinals are taken, or maybe you're just one of those self-conscious people that can't pee next to somebody. So you go to open a stall, and you go inside the stall, and you look, and there's fucking piss everywhere. Piss on the seats, piss on the floor. Even there's like water droplet. That's where you get that shit. So anyway, let's see. I think we need to wrap this up, everybody. I think Monday they're doing a contract signing with McIntyre and Rollins. Are we all sick of contract signings yet? I tell you, man, the way it came across on the conference call with Vince, the Drew McIntyre championship reign, remember something that I said 2 weeks ago? I said I would have had no problem with Brock Lesnar keeping that belt until we could have crowds again, and then have Drew McIntyre win the belt in front of a live crowd to soak in the cheers and the accolade. And I said, wouldn't it suck if Drew McIntyre's entire championship reign is in front of nobody? And the thing is that the Raw ratings are terrible right now. SmackDown ratings, not so bad. But if you pay close attention to what Vince says on these conference calls, Vince talks about, we're pushing, younger people, trying to create new stars. And he blames Brock Lesnar not being there as part of the ratings decline and this and that. And if these ratings continue to slide, do not be surprised if WWE takes that belt off of Drew McIntyre before we go back to live crowds. And that's going to suck. That's terrible. I mean, look, it is what it is. It's still an entertainment company. I mean, I know people will be in an uproar. Oh, my God, he never got to defend the title or even win it in front of a live crowd. Well, he could always win the title again. And I'm not saying to take the title off of him, but don't be surprised if Drew McIntyre loses that title before we have live crowds again. And be prepared for the tsunami of crap that will be sent WWE's way for never, allowing Drew McIntyre a run for the fans to actually soak it in and enjoy it. I'm telling you, man. I don't think putting the belt on Seth Rollins helps either. Seth Rollins, again, nothing against the guy, man, but I invite people, seriously, you go look at the top 10 lowest Raw ratings of all time, and you will find a pattern. And the pattern is that Seth Rollins is heavily featured on almost all of them. Almost all of them. Now, let's also be honest. Lately, Seth Rollins hasn't been as featured on television. It's been a lot of vignettes. You know, he comes out at the end, he gets involved. But you look at the top 10 lowest Raw ratings of all time. He's involved in a lot of them. And, and it's a shame because Seth Rollins, is one of the better stars there. It's amazing, man. It was a little over a year ago. Remember when he had that gauntlet and everybody was praising the fuck out of this guy? And what changed? He started going at it with people on social media, because of the AEW threat, if you remember. And then WWE decided to put his relationship with Becky Lynch on television. And there was no way that Seth Rollins was going to be the man of that relationship, and it failed miserably. And the peak was that match with Lacey Evans as the referee and Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins. I'm telling you, man, WWE fucked up on that. But now it's an even bigger challenge, like I said, because you don't have a live crowd there to really get behind something or to shit on something. They have to guess. So you see some of the things the last 2 weeks. That's why when I said it last Monday, I wasn't joking. For the last 2 weeks, during some parts of Raw and Smackdown, even AEW, in my mind, I try to imagine how the crowd would react to it. And some promos, like I would picture in my mind, the crowd going, what? 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 But I also pictured some things falling flat. And I just imagined Dana Brooke coming out and getting no reaction whatsoever. And, some of the things we've seen has been kind of cacas. I think they would have ate it up tonight with Vince and Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Stephanie and Flair with the little cameos and everything. But, no, I understand, Ben. They don't like to go with how the crowd reacts. But, and this is the most important thing, this is what I think some really need to realize. WWE and a lot of wrestlers have written off social media, Twitter especially, as a very small percentage of the overall WWE universe. That most people, even if they're on social media, are usually quiet. That there's a very small percentage of outspoken people. So even though WWE will still do what they want, Baron Corbin's a perfect example of that, when you're in front of live crowds, that's feedback. Whether you listen to the feedback or not is a different thing, but that's feedback. When you hear no reaction whatsoever, that gives a sign to WWE like, hey, all right, something's up over here. Now you have none. So all you could depend on is the ratings and social media. And if you have the mindset, like Seth Rollins has said, and Corbin and a lot of people in WWE, that only a very tiny slither of fans are the outspoken ones on social media, then you're not going to base pushes just on a tiny little percentage. So they have to guess. And my God, look what happened with Omega in his match with AEW. I said on Wednesday that it was too long, in my opinion. But my God, I seen Ryan Satin, Dave Meltzer, and others having these wars over their views of Kenny Omega's match. And I'm like, man, all of them. And a lot of them I follow. I'm like, just shut up. Shut up. I honestly think if there was a live AEW crowd at that time, they would not have shit on that match. But it was a little bit too long, but people are Analyze it. And that's what happens when you don't have live crowds. If there would have been a live crowd Wednesday and they would have cheered that match, some people, including me, would have probably still said that match went on a little bit too long. But people, for the most part, would have shut up. Because if the overall fans enjoyed it, what are you going to do? You going to go against that? So right now, they have to really, roll the dice with certain things. They rolled the dice with Dana Brooke. Seriously, man, you look at the women who are not going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but she is. Let her do another one of those springboards like today. Just look at that move again outside the ring today, and just look at the timing. You remember like 3 years ago, we were talking about her timing when she was outside the ring and she moved around. She was supposed to do it, and she was like 1 second off. Some things like that you never improve on. And again, nothing personal against her, but she ain't cutting it. She ain't cutting it. Climb the corporate ladder, man. I don't know. I know what a lot of you are probably saying. I don't like to go that route. I know a lot of you are saying, oh, they let go of this person, but they keep Lars. Oh, they let go of Sarah Logan, but they keep Dana Brooke. Oh, they let go of this person, but they keep this person. Yeah, you can't look at it like that. You really can't. I think that's a little bit unfair. I would never say, let Dana Brooke go and keep this person instead. People are kept for different reasons. To me, Dana Brooke is more enhancement talent than anything else. And if by luck something catches on, then, maybe they run with it. She got that opportunity, that pay-per-view not too long ago. What was it, TLC? I don't remember which one it was. And she did that one dive. And I'll never forget, after she did the dive, she looked around like she hit the lottery. It was almost like she looked at herself in the third person like Urkel and said, did I do that? Did I do that? Did I just do that? Oh my God, did I do that? I did it. Holy shit. That's what, when you look back at somebody's career and that's all the only top moment you could think of, I got news for you, Anthony. Now we're hearing rumors that Io Shirai and Charlotte may not be at Money in the Bank. I don't know. Maybe they announced the match tonight, but I saw a lot of rumors going around online that WWE may hold that match for NXT. So that's not set in stone. That's not set in stone. But anyway, everybody, it's been real. I would love to stay here all night long, but, it's almost 1 a.m. over here. I do have my significant other in the other room who is probably a little annoyed right now that I went a hell of a lot longer than I was planning to. She wasn't putting out tonight anyway, so she's very fearful with coronavirus. She thinks that somehow, laying next to me at night, all night long, she won't catch it, but if we do the nasty, that she could somehow get it. So it is what it is. Yeah, I'm a little hornball, but I got to take it. But it is what it is. I tell you, man, it's been pretty rough not being able to see some members of my family. Yesterday night, I don't really want to get into it over here, but last night, was probably the hardest night for me so far. I'm working and I'm paying my bills. I'm making the best of it. I'm trying to get in better shape on top of this. But, the loneliness part is kind of rough, man. Talking to my mom on the phone, then Mother's Day is 2 weeks from Sunday, I believe. So I already have decided whether my mom likes it or not, I'm showing up at her house. If I have to fucking stay 20 feet away from her and, I have to be in the same vicinity with her. And, yesterday I just... I was thinking of my dog a lot and was looking at the room I'm in right now used to be his pee and shit room. And this room, unfortunately, was like my worst memory when it was time, for him to go. And just yesterday, just very quiet house with nothing on. I didn't want to watch politics. I'm just totally fed up with all this shit with Trump and the media and everything else. I told you, I support our president, but I don't follow him on social media anymore. And I after yesterday, I just have no desire to watch any of these conferences. But yesterday night, just dead house, nobody else in here. It was just quiet. And I just looked around and I just like started seeing like my dog, like where he used to like hang out and do stuff. And it was rough, man. It was rough. Like, I get to interact with some customers during the day, but I'm kind of like fed up with the bitching and the complaining and, oh, what do I do? What'll happen if I don't pay my landlord rent? Or is the insurance company going to give me a break? I can't work right now. Is there any way they could put my insurance on pause? The pause. It's just one after the other. And then delivering stuff. The delivering stuff has not been bad. It's been rough, like walking up flights of stairs with big cases of bottled water. But people have been tipping me pretty good, though. One guy tipped me $50, and he didn't order all that much stuff. But it's all right. It's all right. But I wish everybody nothing but the best. Stay strong. Stay safe. If you happen to live in a state that has very little coronavirus, don't get careless. Stick with the masks. Wash your hands. Keep your distance. Just because someone is not around you doesn't mean that someone wasn't there a couple of minutes ago. Even when I leave my house early in the morning, for a week, I left my house. I didn't put the mask on. And then, this is a true story, and some of you are going to laugh your ass off over this, but it's a true story. About 4 weeks ago, the distance between my house, where I leave my house, and my car is very short. It's maybe like, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet. So I would leave my house to my car without wearing a mask. I don't interact with anybody. I get in my car. I got the masks in the car. When I get to my office, I put the mask on, and I get out of my car, and then I do my thing. So about a month ago, I left my house. It was about 10 to 8 in the morning. There was nobody around. And as I'm walking to my car, I'm like, oh, somebody just fucking farted. And it was not like dog shit or like a dead animal somewhere. Somebody walked by and went, and I looked around and I didn't see anybody. I didn't see the usual suspects, the 80-year-old lady, the fucking 400-pound guy that eats nothing but burritos all day long. Halfway to my car, I'm like, oh, who the fuck farted? And there was nobody around. And that hit me, and I said, wow, if a fart could linger that long for somebody to get to their car and pull away and they had disappeared, I'm like, could you imagine if somebody sneezes? Just think, somebody could have sneezed. And there's wind and everything, but somebody could have sneezed, and it could be a little trinkle here or there. So after I smelled that fart, now when I leave my house, I have the mask on. Even when I throw out garbage. I'm serious. I'm not kidding, man. I swear to God. I walk by. No joke. Who the fuck farted like that? It was disgusting, man. It was gross. But that fart made me wear a mask all the time, man. Yeah, no, it happens. I don't like farting in front of people. I can't fart in front of my girl. It maybe is a little bit revealing, a little bit too personal, but my girl, she just farts in front of me and laughs after. She like lets it loose, and I'm like, that's fucking disgusting. Me, I have to go 2 rooms down. Seriously, swear to God, I've been dating her now almost 8 years, and when I have to nail one, either I'll go from my bedroom to the kitchen, I'll turn the faucet on, and I'll go. Or what I'll do is, I don't know if anybody ever does this too, but I'll let it out while I'm like in the bed with her, she's sleeping, or even if we're watching TV, but when I let it out, like I force it to let out just very slow where it goes. I can't believe we're fucking talking about farts. Are you serious? It's time to go, everyone. But seriously, there's 2 ways to let out a fart. You could just let it out and the whole neighborhood wakes up, or you could just like hold it in and you use your muscles and you just until it's completely gone. So, Mike, I have no idea why you're asking me where one of my co-hosts are. This channel just features me and my work. Yes, the Monday show is on here too, but this channel is DT channel. It's not DTKC. So, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed in some of you out there. If you enjoyed this episode, before you disconnect, hit the thumbs up. Because like I said, I'm only on this 3 months. And I have people sending me feedback all the time. I mean, your feedback is the reason why I even got these things. I can't wait to blow one of these up. Not going to blow it today for 10,000, but tempted to. But then I got to clean it up tomorrow. But, but the thing is that people are always sending me a lot of suggestions and feedback. And the one thing people probably say more than anything is like, you got to tell people, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. You don't understand. And it shows up as recommendations. That's the only way you're going to get more people. So on the way out, if you could do that, I would appreciate it. If you like the channel, subscribe. As soon as I get the show online for everybody tonight, I promise you, the first thing I'm going to do is look, because a few people told me that we broke 10,000 tonight. And again, that's all credit to you. Seriously, because like I said, this is not my channel. This is our channel. The Donzilla Army and myself, this is everybody representing. And it's awesome, man, because, I've been doing this for a long time. And over the years, it's been like the in thing to do is to say that my show sucks or that I suck or I'm a racist or just people say the shit. And I love it because, without naming any specific Facebook groups, but there's always these Facebook groups, and people are slick that, every so often they'll post, hey, what other wrestling shows do you like? And that always gives people a reason to say, oh, well, I love to check out Brian and Vinny, or I love Solomonster. I used to love DT, but he's a fucking Trump supporter. Like, they'll always use that as a reason to shit on me. So when you see so many other places always exclude me and my work from when they're always talking about other people's shows and pushing stuff, even feds out there, when I see the Donzilla Army, all of you out there breaking 10,000 in 3.5 months, that's my way and our way of saying to all of those places out there, this, so I appreciate it. As long as you all enjoy what I'm doing, I'll keep doing it as long as I can. So, oh no, Ben, he's saying don't pay attention to the haters. Ben, you always got to pay attention to haters. There's an old phrase, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies right by your side. I have people on social media that are friends with me, and behind my back, they talk some of the most horrible stuff. They don't realize that some of the people they tell this to send me screenshots. Like I said, I got a field day. I got a whole bunch of treats in my other computer. My God, if what I have in that computer was considered sugar, we'd be bouncing off the walls for the next week if I started putting this stuff online. People have no idea, don't trust every single person you commingle with on social media, because if they're the type to like gossip, trust me, they're not Scouts Honor. I'm not going to say nothing. So me, I don't bother because, I just don't have time for it. It's just stupid drama. But I will say this, Benjamin, my haters, when I say that social media and tweets, it's like heroin to some people, that they got to have the likes. That's why Velveteen Dream was crucified, because of a video that said, what school do you go to? What school do you go to? Because nobody above the age of 18 goes to school. What school do you go to? But for me, my drug is the haters. When I see people hating on my stuff, jealous of my stuff, putting me down, smiling to my face and talking shit behind my back, that lights a fire under my ass more than any fucking one chip challenge or any fucking hot spicy food could do. Seriously, I feed off of those people. This is why you really should not ever fall for the trap and get into wars on social media. And anybody that's starting a podcast or whatever you do, the biggest, best revenge you could ever give to anybody online is success. Numbers. Take note. Even if some of people out there don't like that I do video, take note. When I put up announcements on my Twitter, hey, about to break 2,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 9,000. We're at 9,900. Go back, do an advanced Twitter search, and just type the word subscribe under my account. And you'll see all the announcements since middle of January. And then if you want to see something glaring, click on each one of the people who liked it. And take note of some people out there who have never liked one of them. I don't need their likes. But when you see certain people who smile in front of my face and are just absolutely shitting on me behind my back, and whenever I post good stuff that we're all enjoying, it's like eats them up like battery acid. What you and I and the success of this channel is to them is what Trump is to AOC. Seriously. Or to Bernie Sanders. That's just toxic. And again, people, unfortunately, they reveal themselves in ways I don't even think they expected. But those people, when I see them never showing, any support that just feeds me. It just feeds me to go even more, because I know, wow, it's turning that person's stomach that much that I'm posting a little bit of good news and they don't even want to acknowledge it. That says a lot. That's why when I said early on, my inner circle with Mish and everybody else, I'm not talking about them. But outside of that, I told you the number one guy, that guy Connor, okay, Fabe. That guy, I never talked to him. And that guy shows so much, support for what I do, and back to him. So it's a good thing. But hey, like I said, at the end of the day, all I'm concerned about is me, my family, my girl, my health, my income, my future. Hopefully I get married next year or the year after. Got engaged in November. Couldn't even have my engagement party 2 weeks ago. But, and all of you. So I don't know why you tune in, man. I honestly don't. Look, even the hotline in 1997, when it started getting big in 99, I used to say to people, why do you listen? And the one feedback I probably get more than anything, even now with the YouTube channel, is authenticity. I'll speak my mind. I don't mind now, saying when I'm wrong, or maybe apologize if I go a little overboard. The Sami Zayn stuff is a perfect example. But, there's something about looking in someone's eyes, and you could really tell, someone's authenticity. So that's one thing that's probably number one when it goes to yours truly. Look, I'm enjoying this. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So I am going to bid you farewell. We're about to hit 3 hours, 3 freaking hours. So I will catch you all either on Patreon this Sunday or Monday for the DTKC show. Be well, everybody. Much love, and thank you for 10,000. Ciao.
Don-O-Mite.
It was fun to channel surf. It was kind of hard to do a little pocket pool after you hitting the last channel button 50 times for 2 hours plus.
Don-O-Mite.
And his whole idea of overanalyzing, he's an alcoholic and he misplaced the belt. And how could you have someone champion like that? The fuck out of here.
Wednesday night.
Don-O-Mite, you're going to have fun. You really are.